Hey there, Silver-Tongued Devil here, and in this live stream, we're going to be carrying on from cycle 5, because now it goes 1, 2, 3, 5. It doesn't go that way. I thought it would be a good idea to skip a cycle. So, for any of those of you that are following along and trying keeping track with my score is going to be very low. I literally skipped through all of cycle 4 to bring us to cycle 5. Why? Double damage? So, that's what double damage looks like. The two skulls underneath the name of the level. Now, I thought that this would be reasonably important because this, I find, is the next spike in difficulty for the game. So you're getting into your cycles and you're doing your various bits and pieces. You're scoring all right. You're surviving. You're not thriving. Then you get to cycle 5. Cycle 5 is double damage. That, in essence, halves our health bar. So, from now on, every point of damage that we take, except from dipping our toes in lava, will do double damage. Yeah, but your cycle hip him. This should be full screen size, I believe. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's full screen. Yeah, I'm using something a little bit different to the normal casting because the normal casting doesn't work very well anymore as far as meta is concerned. So I've had to change and adapt, and I'm currently using the MetaQuest Developer Hub to bring this lovely cinematic live streaming experience with you guys being able to see me aiming, or lack thereofing, down the right eye. Now, for those of you who haven't seen what it's like at these cycles, so as we know through the game, play through Purgatory, play through Paradise Lost, play through Abyss, do the pits, or if you've on, don't do the pits, whatever. You complete that, you move on to cycle 2. Cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4, and then we go into cycle 5. Cycle 5 is where we get the skulls start to appear. We will take double damage on cycle 5, and from now on, it will add +1 damage to what we take when we take a hit from now on. So, cycle 6, 3 damage, cycle 7, 4 damage, so on and so forth. I believe, but I haven't been there myself this season. I believe it caps out at 12 damage, because that's fatal damage, because you can only have 12 bars of health. So that means that we will get to a point where one hit without any armor or grace of God is fatal. That sounds very nasty to me. So one of the things that I'd like to see if I can play at that level. Yeah, we'll see. So we are, at the moment, rocking some armor. I would like to keep hold of that. Just pop one in you a second. You do need to work the room, Weebs. It's all about working the room at this point. I know there's some people that kind of refuse it, but that's... Ooh, that was a bit risky. Hey! That was... Oh, thanks for waiting. That was me. So this is one of the problems that you can actually get by manipulating the slow time. It's something that's in the game. I've never used it myself. I've seen other people try to use it. If you've ever pulled an arrow and fired a special by accident, there's a reason. And it's because if you have an arrow loaded and then press the slow time button, or quiver select, as it's actually referred to, it switches between your arrows. Now, the thing is, that would be a great feature? So ideal. I'm glad you're loving Quest 3 life. I will talk to you about the MetaQuest developer hub thing. I don't know if I can send any links, but you just need to search for MetaQuest developer hub and download the app. And it's reasonably straightforward, but the one thing that you have to do is you have to connect your headset up first and then change it. Ooh, I thought we were at max. Obviously not. And then change it. Oh no, we would have got that before my progress reset. Yes, quite. You will need to connect up your headset and then set up the wireless whilst it's connected. Then you can unplug it and be untethered just like me. It's a bit of an ass-about-face way to do it in comparison to the normal metacasting, but I don't know, you get used to it pretty quickly. The only danger that I have is forgetting to plug my bloody battery back in. So I'll just double check and make sure that I've done that. Now, so yeah, if you ever fire an arrow off by accident, I do it every now and again, especially when I'm out of practice. And it's when your slow time shot, slow time shot, slow time shot, slow time shot. And if you press the slow time button whilst you're drawing, it will select the next arrow. As I was saying, that seems like a great feature. The problem is, it puts the game into slow time when you hold it, which gives you all the time in the world to pick your arrow and actually, you know, respond to the situation that's in front of you instead of trying to do it quickly on the fly. It would be useful in a mode like Purist, but of course there's no special arrows in Purist, so there we go. So what can we hope to expect? What can we expect from Cycle 5? So, as we know, enemies are going to be a little bit more aggressive. They actually have a, from what I can see anyway, like they're ooh, look at you! Look at you! Almost took my armor. Yeah, no, I'll do. Slow time, yes. Shard. Slow time, yes. Shard, not so much. Ask me in a minute. Let me just finish what I was on, and then I will ask. And Weebs, I'll do some Anakim. That's, you know, one of the bosses that we are going to be facing tonight. So I'll definitely get there regardless of how much I talk. It doesn't take me that long. That was a bad jump. Being very nonchalant at Cycle 5. This is how you lose armor, by the way. Did he teleport? No, he didn't. Let's go and sort him out. There he goes. I saw him. I saw his vapor trail. There you are. So at this cycle, enemies are going to alert a little bit from a little bit further away. That you'll also find that it's easier to alert them with stray arrows. So it's almost like their alert radius. It increases slightly each cycle, I think. But it's minute enough that you only really see differences at, say, Cycle 5, Cycle 10, Cycle 15. When you get to, I think it's now Cycle 12... that's it. It's at its maximum. The only thing that then increases from that point then is the amount of damage that you take and the amount of damage that you take per hit. How did he not get alerted? That must be a really interesting wall. The amount of damage that you take and the amount of damage that the enemies take. Now, what does that mean for us on the scoring side of things? Well, as I keep on preaching, every headshot scores you points. Doesn't matter whether you kill the enemy or not. So that scored 400 odd points. That scored 400 odd points. So's that, plus the gold. And so's that, plus the gold. And the executioner bonus, I must remember to keep saying about that, for killing those two within quick succession. I won't lecture you on execution tonight because I don't... With a little... Having done some more testing now that we actually have Mortal to play with, it's something that I'm planning on showing off in one of my testing streams, because I think I've got a few bits and pieces that we can test live. And Executioner is still important at competition level or at tournament level. Ah, yes, but the gold. Fun. Send your game today and everything. It's only cheap though. Yes, the gold, remember though, Koska, gold scores you points at a rate of, per piece of gold is 1 point onto your score. What the hell was that? Yeah. Oh, come on. Doesn't like something there. Started noting things are getting a little bit more twitchier and a little bit more glitchier. I think it's because of this latest update. Right, we have a quiver. It would be bad form to take that quiver right now because we have a plethora of arrows and we've got a pit to do. So we'll remember where that is. I'll come back for it. So that then allows us to be kind of weapons free with one of our arrows, knowing that we completely restock it when we come back out. Hand of God is probably what I would choose because it slows things down, allows us to concentrate on getting those headshots. Headshots in pits are even 2.5 times more important because they're worth 2.5 times more points. You also get 2.5 times more gold as well. So these are all important factors. Now, one of the other things I'm going to do as well, which, because we're going to start basically treating the game with a little bit more respect than I usually do, because this is where you have to start to be careful. And I'm going to go and check the shop. And so one of the things that I would advise, regardless of cycle and regardless of level, always come and try and check the shop, whether you need anything from it or not, because this is part and parcel of getting further into this game, is strategizing around what is available. So I now know I can go weapons free with Winter's Bite in the pit. I now know that I have another quiver to restock something, not Winter's Bite because I've already got it, so we could go a bit more weapons free on this. And we know we've got at least one more quiver in the level, and that's before we've looked at any of the rewards for... Yeah, well, this is why I say it out loud, Fish, so that chat remembers for me. So let's do a little bit before we go in the pit, because I heard what Mel said. Slow time. I've always been a massive advocate to being good with slow time. When should you use it? All the time. All the time. Every shot you take, you should be back on slow motion. Look what I'm doing. And the way to practice... Hello, Keith. The way to practice... Yeah, no worries, dude. No worries, dude. Thanks for joining us. So, always be using slow time. Whether you're at cycle 1, whether you're at cycle 10, always use it. Because it literally just puts the game into slow motion, making things easier for you. Now, someone who doesn't know how to play this game... Someone who doesn't know how to play this game or is looking at that and going, "Ah, it's easy, it's in slow motion all the time." There is a knack to it. There is a skill to it. It is repetition will get you better at it. The best place to get good at slow time is in Siege of Heaven. Why? Because you need to extend the amount of time that you have between shots and keep your combo going without missing by using slow time. So, shot, slow time, shot, slow time, shot. And notice how I'm now able to keep on getting the headshots on that Black Knight look at how... So, I mean, I know we're only at cycle 5, but I was able to comfortably deal with one very large health pool enemy, one not so much, but he did pose a little bit of a threat in that they are, you know, everyone I definitely perceive abominations as no threat. Until the sneaky one gets me from around the corner, or, you know, you put them so low down, you put them so low down in your threat radar that they just surface up and get you when you're trying to deal with everything else. And we took 3 ghosts out as well. They can be a pain in the ass. But once you get it, you can then get better at it. Yeah, I feel you there, Popo. What I found to do is you literally lock your thumb to the thumbstick and nothing else. You do not allow your thumb to go anywhere else. So, as far... Yeah, it is difficult. I've done it a couple of times where it's like I put the game into slow time and then just get twatted round the face. It's like, yeah, because the game's not going into slow time, you idiot. So, as far as the shard is concerned, now, I think the tracking in the game has improved with the Quest 3, and then I've seen personally a slight improvement on top of that as well because I've got Quest Pro controllers. There are things that I can do with Quest Pro controllers. For instance, I can use the shard behind my back. Hello, Athom. I can use the shard, so my hand is currently behind my back. I can use the shard behind my back now. That kinda has its uses because where is your hand after you have loosed an arrow? It's probably behind your head. So now I can shot slow time, and then if I time it right, I can shard after my shot slow time shard. Yeah? The problem with sharding, though, is unless you have pros, and even when you have pros, it's not as reliable as it could be because of the direction that you can be taken. The biggest piece of advice that I can give you, though, is there are 2 ways that you can use the shard effectively. Hold and little flicks. Literally, I am just rotating my wrist. I'll try and put it on something dark so you can see my little pink gloves. That's literally hold, rotate, let go. Hold, rotate, let go. And when I say rotate, I'm doing that. And then you can do that for backwards and forwards. And it's all these things in combination with slow time that allows you show time shot, slow time shot, slow time shot. Right, they're getting a bit close and back away one. Back onto slow time shot, slow time shot, slow time shot, back away one. And you can keep doing that indefinitely as long as you don't run out of space. Now, as I said, I kind of abandoned using the shard on the Quest 2 because the tracking just wasn't up to it. Quest 3, it was better, but it's still not something that I rely on. Quest Pro is much better, but I've got into too bad a habits with not real... I am starting to use it more. There is, and it's more out of boredom than anything else, I suppose, because that's slower than me firing a teleport arrow, but hey, we get to change it up now. So one of the other things that you can do with the shard is you can vogue with it, and you literally move it across. Yeah, Rico is very good with the shard. He is the shard master. He's got that down to a fine art, the whole moving and chucking. And it is literally just a timing thing, and the more you do it, the better you will get at it. Just like I've got slow motion or slow-mo shooting down to a fine art. But then the difference between me and Rico, other than, you know, he's probably got like 10, 15 years on me. I hope I'm gaming to his level at his age. But the difference between us is his sharding's really good. My slow-mo's really good. Well, what do we think is more useful? Well, I can tell you now that I think Rico caps out at about cycle 8, cycle 9, which is a great place to be able to get to. I technically shouldn't cap out. The only thing that'll ever beat me is a very high cycle boss when I've not got the arrows to play with. So what I was saying about as far as voguing is concerned is kind of moving your hand across and spamming. And it actually works even better on the pros. But look at the distance that I can cover here. So literally all I'm doing is tapping shard and then start my hand like near my chest and then move forward. It's not so great forwards, and note how a couple of times I'll go left and right. Going left and right, it seems to be better, and this can be quite good for getting you out of a tough situation very, very quickly. Oh, 6. Okay. There was. What? Fucking horizontal? That's not proper. So, the one thing that I will say, and I think this is part and parcel of my bugbear with the shard, is there was a time, some of you IDU, I think Fish will remember, some of you IDU vets that have been playing for many, many seasons. I know For the Right done videos on it, but there was a time when the direction that you were holding on the joystick in combination with just tapping shard sent you the direction that you were holding on the thumbstick. However, as you can see, that is not the case anymore. Was that a bug? Was that removed on purpose? Did it just fall by the wayside because they're updating the game that's kind of legacy code at this point now? Who knows? Hello, Petter. How we doing? So, but yeah, that was... So basically what used to happen is you pulled back. Hey, rooftop hopping is not very good for score, so... But yeah. Hey, look. All I have is my tricks. All I have is my tricks. Right, let's get this pit done. So, again, we're coming in here with 1 armor. I would like to keep that armor, because I'd like to start building up a surplus. Oh, that's just great. Yeah, just disappear. So we want to start building up a surplus of armor now, and we want to be trying to get to the maximum armor. I'm probably doing it a bit early. Normally I wouldn't start concentrating on this until sort of like cycle 8, I suppose, but then I would also, in older seasons, be doing rooftop hopping. Hello. Also be doing rooftop hopping and various bits and pieces. See, look at the speed of that abomination in comparison to how fast they normally move, even at sprint. So even abominations, not only do they have more life, but they also sprint towards you as well. This is where body shots can come in for you, quite useful. Oh, not skeleton archers again. Right, let's just take care of this. And note how that skeleton archer has seen me, and I'm going to look this way. Now, there isn't enough space behind me for him to teleport in behind me. So, that means we know what we're playing with as far as the skeleton archer is concerned. Note again how I can only see this small space, and oh look, he's teleported into it. Because that's how the enemies react to you. Still think it's a bit much for skeleton archers. They're one of the horriblest enemies in the game, and they create an abomination as well. It's like, you know, when the IDU gods were giving enemies perks, how come the skeleton archer got loads? Unlimited ammunition. Much better. I was actually counting that as it happens, Athol. I'm trying to get a handle of how many skeleton archers there are, depending on the enemy set that you get for a pit, and depending on the pit. And I reckon it's somewhere in the 14 to 15 skeleton archers, and that's worthwhile knowing, because if you've killed all the skeleton archers in a pit, you can kind of fucking breathe a little bit. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It seems to be skeleton archers all the time. Stupid cupids indeed. So again, we want to be concentrating on those headshots. As I said, body shots aren't too bad, because abominations have enough health that they can only really take 1 headshot from us anyway. If we use a body shot to stagger them, because we know that they've got a very long stagger, and then get the headshot, it's still the same amount of points. So we're not losing out. Not at this stage anyway. Let's deal with you first. So, and we've alerted that skeleton archer as well. So here's the situation. Skeleton archer in the back hasn't seen us yet. No, he hasn't. Now, if I was to take this engagement here, there is a very real possibility that I would miss an arrow, alert that skeleton archer, and then instead of dealing with one, I'm dealing with two. A simple skip to the side can almost eliminate that problem. Look at the amount of slow time that I'm doing. Now, I can get away with this at this cycle because I'm used to doing a lot of slow time. And the arrows are not fast enough at this stage to be able to catch me at slow time. When you start getting into the much higher cycles, I think someone said that speed of the enemy caps out at cycle 12 now. I think it used to be higher than that previously, but I think it's cycle 12 now. The long short of it is, if you can complete the game on cycle 12, then technically you can go on infinitely. It then just comes down to life bars. Where are you all? You're all up there. So, nope, he's shooting. Again, copious amounts of slow time is what I'm doing. Oh, you were hidden in the shadows? Gotta wait for that ghost to come through that wall before we do anything else. Memory. I thank you. Look at this. Can you guys even see that? I couldn't see either of those. It's one of the things that I really like about this game, and why I pushed back hard because they said that it was a lighting improvement. It fucking wasn't. It was a glitch. It had to be. You don't want to put the game that bright unless you can help it. So anyway, right, we've got that guy to deal with, and it sounds like that skeleton archer has lost interest. Let's go and check. Yes, he has. So, note how I feathered the slow time there to get him to rotate towards me, because there's plenty of times when the enemy is rotating that you'll miss your shot. That's more of a Fletcher thing than what we're doing right now. Oh yeah, we know it's skeleton warriors. But it's still quite important to make sure that you get those headshots as opposed to missing shots. Because missed shots whiz down corridors, and missed shots attract lots and lots of enemies. That's a headshot! Come on! Come on. No, there's 5. There's Perdition, Reformation, and Immolation. And yeah, that's not a great spot to be in, Koska. But again, just playing more. It's like you're at the point now where what I'm hopefully going to be showing off is what you can start adapting to or start adding to your game. The whole, instead of just surviving as far as cycle 5, thriving at cycle 5. So I started answering Costco's question. I was answering Mel's. What did Mel say? Oh yeah. So Perdition, Reformation, Immolation, and then you've got Despair and Agony on Abyss. Now, it is important to know those names because you can instantly get an idea of the loadout that you're going into. That's always helpful. So not going to help you so much with the enemies because, as we've discussed, excuse me, the different times that you go into the pits, there are different configurations of enemies. They're never set. But you will always encounter 2 of the 4, be it skeleton warriors, skeleton archers, knights, or standard archers. Those are the only 4 that they can come in, and they can come in all sorts of combinations. Yes, technically, Abyss pits don't feel anywhere near as difficult as pits. It's because of the ghosts. It's because there's no ghosts in those pits. So they're not even real pits. However, where the danger in Abyss pits comes from is Agony and that fucking orphan. You know the orphan that I'm talking about. And if you don't, you probably haven't got high enough in the cycles yet. Yeah, Immolation is very small, is part and parcel of its problem. There's not a lot of long corridors for you to actually maneuver. So note how I moved to here as opposed to firing that way. Why? Because if I miss, I haven't alerted anything that I can't see round the corner. I'm going to have to step back there. Another use of the shard. A little flick back to get out of the way of a sword stroke. And then after that sword stroke, where's the best place to be in relation to the enemy? Well, right next to him, because then A, you won't miss your headshots, and B, he'll just plant his feet and wind up for another strike, which takes ages. It takes ages for them to actually do that. So we're going to visually alert... that's more than I wanted. That's more ghosts than I wanted to alert. So we're going to move back, because I wasn't impressed with the amount that alerted then, because there was at least 2, maybe even 3. One of the things to note as well, and this is where headphones are actually really important. Well, not important. I try and play without headphones. I play with headphones when I'm live streaming. I don't play with headphones any of the rest of the time because I just don't like them. I play with headphones now so that you guys don't hear the... Sounded like a skeleton archer. You guys don't hear the Quest 3 through the microphone whilst I'm talking. So I haven't been able to cancel that yet. So I've got to play with headphones. Otherwise it spills in and I don't like it. You guys might not notice it or might not be bothered about it, but I don't like it when I have to watch my videos back and I can hear the noise repeating through my microphone. It's very annoying. This is a nasty situation. Ghost, ghost, skeleton archer, skeleton archer. Do I sit here and fight this? Do I make use of my slow time and, like, you know, try and take out the ghosts? What order do I go for the... Do I take the ghosts out first? Do I take the skeleton? No, I just fucking run. There's no reason for me to stay there. Where did he teleport? I definitely heard you. Where have you gone? I can't even see him. Anyway. We're gonna make copious amounts of slow time. I don't mind body shotting skeletons because I know there's ghosts on the way. I would rather not take damage than think about scoring points. Again, longevity-wise. What is that I hear? Is that an orphan? I do believe it is. So yeah, again, part and parcel of that situation that arose there is me just, you know, bum rushing into an area and not sticking to the corners and trying to stay away from everything. Yeah, it's the very bottom that the agony orphans are nasty. Now, because we are dealing with skeleton archers here, I am tempted to execute this orphan. There she is, back corner. She might have seen us, though. Normally, if you can see an orphan, you've got to assume that they've seen you, and so they're going to be getting ready to teleport. However, I don't think she can draw a proper line of sight to me up here, which is good. We'll go around the other way, because that is a nasty angle. Again, whilst I'm trying to push through that room, which should be easy enough from that angle, I'll inevitably miss a shot or get too close to the orphan, and she'll run. We don't want that. All pits will... No, there's no pits in Paradise Lost. There are 3 pits in Purgatory. Immolation, Reformation, and Perdition. And then there are 2 in Abyss. Be they... God. Line, Despair, and Agony. So... Yeah, no pits in Paradise Lost, which is a bit strange. I mean, you wouldn't expect a pit in Paradise, but I don't know. Would you expect a pit in Purgatory as well? I don't know. I think they should be in all levels, but then it should be a little bit different. But it's then they may not have put pits in Paradise Lost because they wanted to keep a theme. You know, Paradise Lost is like pristine and white and absolutely blazing with glory. So, you know, why put a pit down there? But then they could have done something instead of a pit. It would have been, I don't know, a garden? Some sort of garden. One of the things that I will say is, although there isn't a mode for pits specifically, when the pit runner tournaments are on and when various tournaments are on, that's where you can get your practice in and you can get a lot of practice in. That's why I became very familiar. This pit and the other pit have both been subjects of tournaments. That's why I'm very familiar with both of these. I mean, I'm familiar with Immolation because I hate it like everybody else does. Look at this. Cycle 5. Look at that fireball. Look how slow that's traveling. So we'll make up a little bit of distance on this guy here if we can. Because I want headshots and I want distance. This isn't a great distance. I could get further back. Oh, pro tip. Look at this. I always forget about this one. You can actually get in these. The only problem that you then have is if you're not hitting your headshots. God, I can't even see him. If you're not hitting your headshots. Damn it. There we go. If you're not hitting your headshots, you haven't got anywhere to maneuver. You haven't got any room to move. So, I mean, you can go a little bit left and right. I can't remember. I think it's all of these alcoves. Yeah. One of the few things they never took away from us. I don't think... Oh, no, you can. There you go. You can go in all these little alcoves. I've used that one before just to increase distance. It's not really useful for anything else, though. So, right, this is where we've got to start being careful, because there's an orphan right round that corner. There is a possibility that if I start firing shots into that room, it will alert the orphan. So what do? We visually alert the enemies, and we head back. And then we put something... I forgot about those guys. We put something between us and the orphan so that the shots that I'm firing have no chance of alerting the orphan. This is how you stop the orphan getting away. Because the orphan is definitely something that we don't want to miss out on points-wise. So, this is feeling particularly dark today. I don't know if you guys can see much of what's going on the screen. But, I guess you get to see what I see. So, right, so we know she's to the left. So one of the things that we can do here... Yes, no, I'll, do me a favour, Koska, and pop... If I don't mention it in the comments, do put it in the comments, and I'll respond to it. I'll reply to it. Because, yeah... memory issues. But it is, yeah, I'll try and put the link, but if you search for MetaQuest Developer Hub, you'll find the app. So, I think you need to have a developer account as well, which if you've used SideQuest, you will have. So, I might remember. You never know, Koska. I probably won't remember. Right, so, we know he's around there. I'd like to alert that skeleton. I'll let him teleport in front of me, because that's what he's going to do. Or he might teleport to the sides. Slow time. Slow time. No? No? We might have despawned. Interesting. Right, I can't go much further forward, because I'm most likely alert the orphan. So it is now game time. Now, this is how you should be always approaching orphans. You should always be approaching orphans when you have the drop on them. I know where she is. I know anyway by sound, but I've actually seen her before she got away. There are enemies around us, but we do have an avenue of attack. This is how you get orphans without losing any life. Had to say it, didn't I? So, how are we going to go about this? Well, a Hand of God would be a good idea because it'll stop her running away. Do we want to be farming headshots? Probably not, because there's a lot of dangerous enemies around. So let's get her dealt with quick and fast and out. And then I'll talk about why we have Volley 5. So... I didn't even alert! What a prick! Come on! Right, he's teleported there. Nice. Now I'm going to look this way. He didn't even do his Fonzie. What a prick. There we go. Thank you very much for your service, Skeleton Bob. Again, this is why you have your hand hovering on, or have your thumb hovering on the slow time button at all times. I thought he genuinely despawned. That's why he just alerted and then went away from me, because there's still quite a lot of enemies here. There's a lot of abominations at the back. So what I'm going to try and do here is, I know where she is, and I need to be ready to teleport and face her. Oh crap, there she goes. Oh, and there goes the armor. Damn it! After everything I said. So this is where you lose life, basically, in the pits. When you're going in, when you've been caught short. Well, I'll do a better... Shit! I'll do a better orphan example. Well, easy come, easy go. Oh, you champion. What a prick. That... I haven't seen skeleton warriors do that for quite some time, actually. Don't know if you can appreciate that, but he did his teleport and stab. That catches everybody, myself included. And I haven't seen it for ages. It's almost like he lulled me into a false sense of security. So, part and parcel of that, I would like to think, was not my fault. So, some of these corners are notorious for the orphan being able to see through them and see you and get alerted to you, even though you can't see her. That's not how the game works. And I think it's because... Oh, for fuck's sake. Would you shut up? I'm going to get him first. Hang on. They're really loud. Not those two. Right, let's harvest some points out of these boys. Now this isn't ideal because I don't want to be fighting one whilst dodging the other. But with where they are at the moment, and unless I want to spend ages luring them about the place, I haven't really got an awful lot of choice. So again, note the angle here. I've moved around here, I know. I've moved around so that stray arrows are not... I could have attacked him from where I was originally, but then any stray arrows go whizzing off down that way and then just alert other things, and then that's more problems that we need to worry about. So we don't do that. We change the angle so that we're not doing that. We alert them when we want to alert them. Like, there was a pretty good example. This is another use of slow time, is you can manage enemies with staggers if you can hit them in the fucking head. One for you, one for you. Now, normally this isn't particularly great form because you're having to adjust your aim each and every time. You should concentrate on one enemy. This is why I won't be able to get continual headshots, because I'm changing my point of aim. I'm also under a little bit of threat. Slow time, slow time, slow time, and dodge, and... no. As we were talking about last episode as well, you'll note, hopefully, the little fractional movements that I'm doing. And I don't know if I'm doing it subconsciously or not, maybe. Let's say I am. I'm doing it when I hear the fireball cast noise, because unlike other enemies in this game, they don't try and lead you with fireballs. The incubi do not. So little fractional movements whilst you're under attack from fireball. Thank you, Von. Oh, it's always so fun. Slow timing my ever-loving heart out. The fireballs don't actually have that big a hitbox. A fireball can get very close to you as it happens before it actually registers as a hit. Think of fireballs almost like an arrow. in that, you know, they're that kind of hitbox. I think that's what they're based on as well, hence why they actually sound like an arrow when they hit the wall, instead of, I don't know what fireballs sound like, but they're not sounding like arrows. Although they do in IDU, for reasons. So, right. So, we know that the end of this is in sight. The pit, that is. See? Didn't wait for him to settle, missed a shot. If I didn't have the right angle or there was more enemies about, that shot goes whizzing off into the ether and alerts enemies. It is a real problem. The #1 cause of death in pits is getting fucking swarmed by ghosts, usually. That's what gives you all of those hits. And so if you can make sure that you think about your angles, your collateral, the where your shots are going if you miss. It's all well and good going like, oh, well, I just won't miss. I miss all the fucking time. All the time. Look, see? 2 misses there. Thankfully, he was also shit. So... yeah, it is definitely a thing. So the only thing that you can do as far as that's concerned, Weebs, is never fight around arrows. Or if it's an arrow that you need and you need to pick it up before you fight in that area. But a lot of the time it's just better not to fight in that area at all. So it's the same with like health potions, blood of the lambs, and bits and pieces as well. So I was saying about this golden spunk trail, as I like to call it, because it does come from our groin attachment. So that denotes that the pit has finished and that we can now escape. That happens when we've killed about 88 to 92%. The testing has been done. Chat me here and they told me live. But about 88 to 92% of the pit has been killed, and that's when that happens. Why is that important? Because if you were kind of on death's door whilst you're in the pit, as soon as that's here, if you know where the exits can spawn, you can get straight out. To a lesser extent, you can also then go to those exits and go and quickly have a check of the rewards. Because if you are on death's door but you had 2 health and a holy armor, it might be worth your while in that circumstance staying down here and finishing off those last few enemies. Yeah, been there, done that plenty of times. So let's just have a quick once over in the level. As I said, headshots are worth 2.5 times and gold are worth 2.5 times. So that does add a little bit of value to ghosts. But the problem with ghosts is you can't headshot them. That means they're a body shot, which means the only thing that they're going to count towards is gold and executioner bonus. So if you had like just ghosts left and you weren't up to it, I wouldn't forgive you for just fucking off. Ghost can be a twat. So, but if there's abominations or other enemies, especially incubi, you want to be nailing them, and you want to be at this stage where there's not a lot left and you've cleared the various areas within the level. You want to be making up those distances and, you know, making use of those headshots. I have said before that that's true. That's true, Weebs. And it, you know, it can then revive your strategy, so to speak. But then this is the other thing as well. You shouldn't pick up anything that gets dropped down in the pits until you've finished. Because imagine there was a Winter's Bite and a quiver and you had no Hands of God. You picked up the Winter's Bite to replenish your Winter's Bite. No, that's a bad example. But yeah, leave all of your resources on the board until you are forced to pick them up is the way that you should play. There's been plenty of times where, like, you know, a quiver's dropped and I've stuffed it into my Hand of God thinking, yeah, I need Hand of Gods. And then what's the next spawn? Fucking Hand of God. And I won't see a Winter's Bite for 3 cycles. It's typical sort of RNG behavior. But that's why, as I think it was Eric that termed that, is like leaving things on the board so that you can pick them up as and when. It's just good play. Just good play. Right, I think we've done everything. Yep. So, None of these arrows are actually any good to me. This is the worst time that I could possibly get a quiver to restock because I'm pretty much full on everything. But if we don't take these resources, we'll lose them. I shouldn't have to explain that. But obviously, once we leave the pit, we can't come back here. So any of the resources are then gone and wasted. So that's the one time that I would say you can be inefficient with your pickups. So we've still got that quiver at the back. So... I mean... I'd have to come all the way back. And it's only for one arrow. We'll see how we go. I don't expect any trouble. But, you know, I said that about the orphan. And then got fucking shanked. Right. So we've checked the shop. We know what we're working with. I think there was a winter's bite and a quiver in there as well. So that's all well and good. So we've got those to come back to. There's also Blood of the Lambs, which we might now need because I went and lost the holy armor. Right. Let's get on with it. So, again, no angles. If I fire shots at these guys now and miss, we know... Oops. We know that there's an archer down there. And that archer is the sort of dude that will fire those arcing shots that you can't see. And they'll just come up and over the stairs and hit you. And you'll be left one thinking like, how good an archer is that dude? So note what I've done here. I have moved off to one side so that any of my misses are doing this and hitting walls. And then I'm moving off to this side. I'm shooting these guys at close range anyway. So, oh, that arrow went all the way through him. I'm going to be shooting these shots at close range anyway, so why not mitigate any risk? You know, let's pretend that these guys are here and I miss a shot. Oh, look. I've just alerted both of them. Now, the likelihood is that they'll either walk up or teleport up, but we've all had it where they don't, and they just fire from where they are. They think like, oh, this is a fucking excellent peaky angle. I'll take that. And hand the player his lunch, and they'll do that to you. So, right. I'm not really doing this in any particular order. One of the things that I have been doing a lot in Mortal is clearing the outsides of the level before advancing in, and clearing the tops of the level before advancing in. And I think this is a good idea because it then gives you somewhere to retreat to. So if I clear this rooftop, again, note the angle. I've moved here so that the missed shots hit the wall and don't fly over there where there are another 4 archers. So I don't have any chance of alerting them. I don't think I can stress this point hard enough. If you are alerting enemies when you weren't supposed to, that can be a big difference between able to survive a level or thrive within a level. Oh, yeah, I can do that all the time, Weebs. I'm really good at getting close and missing. So, right, that's got him out. He should move. Lovely. Hold still. Damn. Damn. That's why you don't move away from them and why you move into them. Because whilst I was firing, that angle, I couldn't quite work out whether that was on track to hit me or not, so I had to move more just to make sure. And sometimes in the trying to get away, you can actually line yourself up for the hit. So that's why I always say to try and move inside the arc of these axes. So I know there's enemies down there. I'm going to go and clear the back of this level, so this is still keeping within clearing around the outside. Oh, you... tracking. See, it's not perfect. I know Mr. Dragon has been having problems with his Pro controllers with the latest update, and I'm definitely having problems with mine, and I'm finding it's if I leave the controllers on, leave the headset on, and put it down whilst I'm maybe doing some video editing or something, and then I come back to it and either one or both of the controllers just goes into like a sleeping beauty mode, and even kisses won't wake them up at that point. So yeah, I remember Sleeping Beauty was the term for all the old Samsung phones when they used to basically power down into sleep mode and didn't turn back on again. So, Sleeping Beauty mode. There you have it. So again, note the... Yes, I did. Thank you, Vaughn. I will check again, though. Yeah, we're good. And yeah, we're good. Note the angle here. There is a lovely... Let me demonstrate. Now, I didn't want that arrow to go back there. And by not doing that, like playing from on one side, I've now alerted a Black Knight, an Archer, and a couple of Abominations. And we now have the classic scenario of where you're going to lose life. What do I deal with first? Well, this guy needs to be dealt with, but then that guy almost actually hit me. Fuck. And it's in these situations, as Weeb said, you just fucking bin it out. Bin out of it. But this is the classic that you'll lose a lot of life fighting. And it's a situation that I shouldn't have put myself in. I didn't need to. All I needed to do, instead of taking that shot straight, is to just shard to one side, or locomotion to one side, so that my shots are at an angle and hitting the wall and not alerting everything that I can't fucking see. So we've done the tops and we've done the outsides. The reason why I think it's a great idea for Mortal, obviously, but the reason why it's a really good idea for this as well is I now know where I can retreat to. Head to the outside of the level. You can usually find that pretty easily, or go up. And those are two quite easy instructions. What we was saying there as well is a very valid point, is that if you alert enemies and you feel that you have to nope out of there and they're still coming at you and they're still being a pain in the ass, if you go into the sanctuary and rest, just going into the shop isn't enough. If you go into the shop and come out, they'll be where you left them. But if you rest and come out of the game back to Sanctuary and then come back in again, the enemies actually reset to where they originally spawned. So if you've kind of like fired that arrow and snarled up a load of enemies and they're all over the show and you're having trouble dealing with them and like, you know, they're like all clustered up, so you can't find ways to kind of like break them down or lure individual ones out or whatnot, go back to the shop, save, back into Sanctuary, come back in again, and they'll all respawn where you are. And then you've got the knowledge of where they actually were originally as well, because they'll be back there then. Right. Again, note the angles here. I don't know what's at the back there, and I am just creating myself a lot of problems. Example problems, obviously. But firing shots and having duels with various archers and various bits and pieces is not optimal. This is another way that you get swarmed. Missing arrows or having duels from one room into another is another classic way of setting up what I like to call the IDU classic, where you've got melee troops coming in front of you trying to hit you, and then archers doing what they should be doing and supporting the infantry. This is where you take hits. So let's try and break this down a little bit more. Do I want to start taking shots over there? Well, no, because this guy's been visually alerted somehow. So we'll wait for him to close in first. Am I going to take that shot? Well, let's see what happens if I do. Oh, I've missed. And now I've got 3 more problems. Is that 3 more problems? Yeah, 3 more problems. And it can all, just from one miss, it can all spiral out of control. It's one of the cool things about this game. I love doing examples. I really love doing examples. Don't you guys love me doing examples? Fucking free hits. But it's okay, we got plenty of blood anyway, I can afford that. So now we've dealt with part of the room, and then we can use that part of the room to deal with other parts of the room. So what we're going to do here, start taking some shots. There's 3 archers, loads of abominations, and a knight. The knight's going to come at us fast, the abominations are slowly going to chomp towards us, and the archers are going to start leathering us with arrows. So what we'll do is we'll move just far enough forward to alert some of them, and then we'll move back. Are we going to fire at them here? Nope. Let's go back here, where we know it's clear. I could even come round here and corner. That hit's really put me off my stride now. More? Now that room's not looking half as bad. It's just a couple of abominations and a couple of archers, and we can retreat to safety if we need to. Now, what I would advise in this situation is we know that if we get up on things, the abominations all of a sudden become zero threat. Sneaky. The abominations... Yeah, right. The abominations become zero threat. So, let's put that to the test. Let's get up here. Those boys aren't going to do anything. We have got a knight though. And even if they do, hello stick. Even if they do, he's probably not going to be able to hit us anyway. Don't rely on that. This is a very small bit of scenery. So, you can actually get up into the rafters, or at least you used to be able to. Yeah, that's going to lose me some life. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh, missed. Yeah, no worries, stick. Thanks for hopping by. Oh, have they taken it away? Here's something that we used to be able to do, and I don't know if it's just because of my terrible accuracy at the moment. I have no idea where he came from. Steady on, he's on your side. But like, look at what I'm doing with slow motion here as well, with slow time. Look at what I'm doing with slow time. Absolutely running rings around enemies. I was using a little bit of shard then as well, but you could just as easily do that, and probably better, with the teleport arrow. So, right, let's see if we still have it. I don't think we do. I think they've taken it out. Oh, super bright. Oh. So they fixed the cool part about the glitch, but they didn't actually fix the glitch. So for any of these of you wondering what I was trying to do there are rafters, and you have always been able to teleport into those rafters. But now they go through the rafters, so those rafters are no longer places you can go up. I believe the reason why they took that out is so that you couldn't do that. But you still can, so they've took the cool part away of the glitch, and the glitch remains. Ah, super bright. It's a good job we love you. I mean, my teleport arrow is going through all of them. Boo! Oh, I remember times where we used to actually go and be able to explore with teleport arrows. It's almost like they take our fun away on purpose. I don't, genuinely though, I don't think that is what it is. I think it's just as code gets updated and changed, because the code is so old now and kind of originated from Sulfur. Well, you said it, Mr. Popo. No, it's one of those things. I'd imagine, I mean, I'm no programmer, but I've done some programming. And as I've talked about before, I would imagine it's one of those things where the original programmers and the original creators of the code and the game knew all the ins and outs, knew all the bits and pieces for their either given department or the game overall. And then as staff changes happen, you know, people will be familiar with the code, but they won't know it like the back of their hand, like the originals, so to speak. And so they won't know that, you know, if they add mortal mode, we'll lose the ability to teleport onto things. They don't know that. And there may be no good reason for that to happen, but the originals might know why it's happened, or, you know, what conflict has happened there to cause that. But the people who are currently working on the game wouldn't know that. And then it becomes one of those things, is it worth investing the time to find out? The sad answer is no. But we live in hope. completely forgot whilst I was on my programming tangent to pick up the health. So picking up health is now something that I would do. When you are at 100%, you should always wait until you have lost at least 2 pegs of life. The reason being is because... God damn it. The reason being is because 30% of the time when you pick up a Blood of the Lamb, it can give you 2 heals. Now, I remember having various conversations, especially with Sean, about, you know, not having... Yeah, butterfly effect. That's a good way to put it. I don't even know if what I'm saying is right, Popo, but I assume, like any job, I suppose, if you have somebody who's a master at their art, master at their trade, knows whatever system it is, like security or... Well, yeah, it's always going to come back to computers, but, you know, knows their thing inside and out, that, you know, if somebody else comes along and doesn't know it, you know, it'd be like Picasso getting halfway through a painting and then me trying to finish it off. I mean, I'd do a great job, or at least I think so. So, always wait until you pick up, until you've lost 2 pegs of health. And the reason being is, I'm not going back for that. I can't be bothered at this point, Weebs. So... But thank you for the reminder. So, when you get to the point where you've killed, I think it's 106 orphans, 107 orphans, orphans, then is a 30% chance in the game that when you pick up a health, you'll get 2 instead of 1. Now, if you always pick up the health when you've always got 1 left, and the only time you should do that is if you're leaving the level and they're just going to get left behind. I get the impression that RNG would be working whether it was going to give you 1 or 2. So let's say, for instance, you're at 1 and you pick up a load of Blood of the Lambs and it rolls for a 2-lifer. You wouldn't see the benefit of it because you haven't got the 2 life to gain. I think is a good way to describe it. And it's a way... Can you get out of the way? It's a way to play the game. And again, these are... that was not a good habit. These are good habits that you need to build up and ingrain. 2. Oh, let's show an example. I don't like that. Come in here. I could rest in Sanctuary and reset them. However, I could come back out and look. They've de-alerted and they have to do... They have to do their Fonzie impression again. Now, previously, these guys were arrows drawn, ready to shoot straight away. Instead, they've got a Fonzie. Now, those are not the shots that really, after everything that I've been explaining, I want to be taking. But I know that we've dealt with quite a lot of the archers in that room, so there wasn't too much of a threat. And luring things out onto this walkway, well... This is all points. Woo! Oh. Yeah. Never going to get 3 in a row, am I? Blood before armor. Yes, quite right. Quite right, Athom. That's another thing. Yeah, always leave the armors until last. Because you might have bloods that you can replenish your life with. That you'll inevitably, you might take damage during a level. If you've already picked up the armor, it's gone. At least if you pick up the armor as the last thing that you do, or the only other time that I would accept doing that is before you go into a pit, then, armor is rare, and once it's gone, it's gone. Blood of the Lambs are only rare when you really fucking need them. So, as we all know and love. Right, how are we going to work out this orphan? I know where the orphan is. I've got 2 approaches to this. I can softly decimate all of the level, or I can just jump straight in there. The jumping straight in there approach is sometimes a lot better. Yes, you can get holy armor when you are not at full health. Don't want to take that shot. Don't want to take that shot either. I'll move across a little bit. I'll corner him. Thanks for moving. That's much more like the shot I want to take. Cool. Let's lure these guys over. Start whittling down the numbers. He's in the doorway. I'm not going to shoot him. Gonna let him come in. Oh, that's that. My lady pronounces that as ITR. Oh, hello, Travis. Sorry, mate. I didn't hear you sneak in. Hello, my dude. How we doing? Right. I think it was you, Travis, that... no. Yeah. Is it Travis? Yeah, it might have been. You, coined the phrase of leaving things on the board. I mean, it's how I play, but I did love the term. I'm sure it was yourself, actually, and not Eric. It's a board gamey thing, I think. But yeah, leaving resources and leaving items on the board. But yeah, so you can pick up holy armor regardless of how much life you have or are missing. Ugh. I think I've played enough now that they've grown on me. I don't like it still, but there you go. Yeah, managing resources is something we will have a talk about soon, because at this stage of the game, as you obviously well know, it's I mean, it's never too early to start managing your... Oh, it's my headphones. It's never too early to start practicing and getting some standard operating procedures or SOPs for how you play the game and sticking to them as well. But yeah, you're definitely missing out on Into the Radius Stick. It's a really, really good game, even though the second one has been announced. It would be well worth your time getting and playing through the first one, just to give you that feel of, because if they just make Into the Radius 2, Into the Radius 1, but more and bigger and better. I mean, you know, it's true of any sequel, but if they stick to the core things that they did right in Into the Radius, we're going to have one hell of a game. Oh, sorry, there was someone who said that they didn't. Oh, you have, right, you don't have it, you have played it though. No, it's fantastic. Really, really good game. Have I got a... Oh, hang on a second. That was... Oh, come on, teleport arrow. So, my teleport arrow failed on a couple of occasions there for no good reason. I mean, it was probably a little low. But that's why I'd already committed to the teleport, and that's why I fired another shot. I was able to do that because slow time. And that stops me getting here with him drawing an arrow and shooting me in the face, basically, is the reason why we do that. Yeah, we can work those guys out, I think. Yeah, no worries, dude. Cheers, Stick. Yeah, nice one, Stick. Cheers, dude. Yes, I do have a infrared caster. However, I think I'm finding that I'm putting it on less and less now, because it's one of the things that I can quite easily forget about and not really realise. So, we've cleared out a good portion of the level. I know the orphan is there, just behind that wall. We want to be avoiding any kind of line of sight with her by either making big teleporting movements and just staying away from that line of sight. Yes, so she's just in that archway over there. And I would like to take as many enemies out as possible, because it just makes dealing with the orphan a lot easier. You saw the situation that I got into in the pits. The reason why the pits are a very difficult proposition for orphans is they're a very high value target, so you don't want to miss them, and that can end fucking runs, let me tell you, because they're worth a hell of a lot of points. But there's a very dense amount of dangerous enemies in those environments, and it is quite difficult to pick apart. I mean, if you're just going to stand there, it is quite difficult to pick apart the pits as easily as you can the levels. There we go, and that's alerted him because of a miss, because I didn't change the angle. But I don't really want to change the angle at the moment because I don't want to see the orphan yet. So we should... Oh, and there's another. We should be able to cross here without alerting the orphan. Should. Wouldn't be the first time it's been alerted, though, doing that. And now we'll take this guy out. There's a danger that that might alert the orphan. But it hasn't. Cool, and we've got him as well. So we know the orphan's around there. There's a bunch of nasty in the middle of that courtyard, but that's okay. We'll shoot from here. And if she does... Oh, nope, she's going into the courtyard. Brilliant. This is where things get dangerous. I would drop a Hand of God. So, hopefully, this is a pretty good showcase of slow time. I'm able to manage these 4 archers, get the headshot, and keep my ear out for the orphan making her moves. There she is. I do want to be trying to score headshots on her because she's worth double the gold, or double the normal sort of gold that you would get. If we let her get far enough away, she'll always try and get out of line of sight. If we let her get far enough away, she will stop. And then we can just keep on raining in those headshots while she's trying to teleport away. If you let her get round a corner and she breaks line of sight, or you don't hit her, then she will teleport away. In those situations, whilst you're doing that and getting that increased damage from the distance, teleport right next to her. That'll stop her in her tracks from getting away. I've done it plenty of times where you're trying to line up that headshot and you can't even hit the fucking body. And it's like from here to there, and it happens all the time. So you just teleport close and then you're done. Right, did we deal with that room? So yeah, powers of slow time. It's such a useful skill within this game. You can use it for absolutely everything, including Siege of Heaven. The only thing that it isn't quite that useful for in the game is tournament time. And there's only me and a handful of players that I think, you know, really go to town and get up in those top scores anyway. And part and parcel of the reason might be because we don't use slow time for that. So we have talked a lot about slow time. So if your slow time game is really good, why not use anything but slow time? Well, because of the reason that I just mentioned is a major one. It is important to also have a fast game. There is one mode in this game where you don't get slow time, and that is purist. You need to be able to have either a very careful or a reliable fast game. So what do I mean by fast game? I mean, it's still kind of using slow time a little bit, but being able to do things quickly so that you are making use of the time that you have. Or it's more to do with, you know, getting into an area and killing enemies quickly. What's the best fast play that you can have? Well, hopefully it would look something like this. And note how none of the archers got a shot off. I have alerted somebody. Of course I've alerted somebody. None of the archers got close to getting a shot off. I had to make one shard, and that was more to cover myself from the hit that he'd already started. And everything was dead in quick order. And I was using a lot of slow time there. But having that, being able to move at a slightly faster pace, again, it is practice. and it is just repetition, but being able to do that and combine that with slow time, that's why if you have a fast game and a slow game, there shouldn't be many challenges for you, regardless of cycle or you can have a body shot once I deal with these guys. Regardless of cycle or mode. Nice. Cheek of it. Last guy left. Move back a little bit. Get some little bit of distance on the headshots. Nope. That one did not say Silver Tongue Devil. Haha! Right. So again, I'm going around the outside and hopefully trying to... right? Last of the Time Lords. Oh, that was a classic example of why I feather the button to let them get to a pose where I know that I can hit them without them having too much movement. That's kind of been born of the Fletcher mode, where a miss equals damage. But there is also an element of, if you slow time and fire too efficiently, because that does happen, that's... You're right there, pal. That's when you start getting arrows going through heads. Like, if I go... I mean, you probably saw it back there when I was trying to be silly fast, is that slow timing too much and so firing too fast can then basically mean that the hitbox for the enemy's head actually disappears, and then you've got nothing to hit. I think it's a glitch. I'm sure the developers would tell us that it is to try and curb people who are just the epitome of slow time. But that maybe that is the thing. But I've heard too many times. Hello, Keith. How we doing? I've heard. Yeah, see you in a moment. I've heard too many things that Super Bright have said are in here as features, when it feels like they're like glitches or errors in code. Like the whole White Knight pretending, or Red Knight pretending to be a White Knight. That's not done on purpose. That's definitely not done on purpose. That's something that's gone wrong in the code, and they've kind of made it into a feature. And then basically by doing that, they can say, ah yes, it's a little surprise for the player, and we don't have to fix it. Again, note these angles. I do not want to be sending arrows whizzing off into that room. There are a lot of enemies in there. A lot. What I do want to be doing, though, is harvesting some points out of this situation. The way that I like to do that here... Coming the wrong way, really. Is take out the knights, so that you can basically have an easy time of farming this room. There isn't always knights here, but do look out for them. They'll usually get far away enough back from you as well, so you can get some decent range on the headshots. Lovely. Gather all of your abomination friends right here, except that one. There's usually one that doesn't want to play. And then what I've started doing for this bit, teleport to the top of the stairs, wait for them to turn. Now. Damn it. That was not good enough. But I teleport to the top of the stairs and then instantly teleport straight on top of here. And what that does is that gives them that split second to turn around, because it's a lot easier to hit them in the head from the front than it is from behind. Let me try and give an example. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. So if you went from here and teleported straight up there, they haven't had chance to move, and they won't move because I am up on higher ground. Now, then if we increase the range to try and get our headshots, like that one is reasonably straightforward head. But if you note how their heads are quite low down and bobbing, we've probably got about 3/4 to half of the target that we would have unless they were looking directly at us. And you can get them looking... Where is that abomination? I can hear him. Are you in the fucking wall? He is as well. Right. So you can teleport down and then teleport straight back up again. And they've all turned round. And now you've got a nice big face to aim at as well. Better not miss any of these. Damn it. Again, we can... Oh! We can afford body shots. But that doesn't mean that we want to be making them. Fuck. And it's not a massive amount of points, but if you do it every single time you come here and every single cycle, start adding it into your SOPs, it adds up. It definitely adds up. It turned your teleport vibe. No, I haven't turned it off. What gives you that impression? So, yep. Feature. I've been told that that's a feature too. Oh, yeah, no, we put guys inside the terrain so that they jump out at you and land a cheeky hit. You can't hit them, they can get you. Yeah, feature. So, but there you go. Just be aware of that. That seems to have got worse as well. There was I've seen it every now and again where there's an enemy in the wall, but a lot of the time they can't hit you, they can't get out of it, and you can only get them with explosive ammunition or like poisons and curses and such. Oh yeah, no. To be fair, I'm rushing. I'm rushing. Right, Weebs, pay attention. This one's for you, mate. And yeah, you said earlier about the invite being still on. Of course it is. I said yeah. I said yeah. Right. Again, we are not going to pick that up because there's a chance that it could be a double. If I only have one life, it could be a double. It could be a single. We'd never know. And if you get into the habit of only picking them up when it could be a double, you'll find yourself getting more life. It might not sound like a lot, but 30% means that for every 3 to 4 bloods of the lambs that you pick up, one of them should be a double. Yeah, and you got to get that headshot, Vega. You know you got it because it's 2.5 times the points. Right, so done this many times, but I do like talking about it, so because this is the big sticking point for a lot of players in the beginning, in the middle, and then at the end as well. I have seen some other techniques, this whole bouncing around between the pillars. I've played around with a little bit with that in the past when Fletcher first came out, because it's a good way to get Anakim to patrol along the bottom, and if you can plant a lot of effects at the bottom of the stairwell, it can do a lot of damage if you can get a lot of arrows in there. But yeah, old Derek seems to have taken that to a bit of an art form recently. So right, so first things first, again, standard operating procedures. I don't know why this works, but I think Beanie told me about it, something to do with the code or something along those lines. With the hand of God that we want to plant on him, yes, yeah. I'm well ahead of you. So, yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good one. I've used something similar in the past when I was doing my original snow globing video, but then back then we didn't have all the sigils, so it didn't really, like, you know, I've known about that whole Gabe manipulation thing with the pillars and how it works for quite a while, but it was never really worthwhile explaining it because everybody could deal with Gabe. But then when you get things like Fletcher and now Purist and now, well, not so much more, well, not Mortal at all, but Fletcher and Purist and people needing to get further, well, that's when these things can start becoming of use. You know, they seem a little bit laborious, but they're the ways to do it. Yeah, I've used the pillars to be able to, if you watch some of my the video where there was the community event on, which was all about getting loads and loads, and I'll use this opportunity to check my battery. I'm going to change my battery anyway. Thanks, Von. I was thinking of you when I was thinking of that. Right, so there's a video that I did where in the purist mode, I worked out a way to push him into that and also push him off of the edge so that he is caught in the gap on the railings and can't move. You have to take hits from his aura to do that, and it involves a lot of shield pushing, but it then stuck him in place so that I could farm the abominations to get us all those kills to get all the good stuff for the community challenge. So what we want to do is don't hit him with the Hand of God. Land it either to the right, to the left, or probably best to the front of him. And the reason being is because it then sticks around longer, and for some reason if you hit him directly with the Hand of God, it seems to summon the knights faster, I think. Anyway, so now that we're down here in slow-mo, we hit him with a Winter's Bite. Note where I am. I am next to this pillar for the purposes of getting that archer and that archer to spawn. I am using copious amounts of slow time. I don't need to be doing this at cycle 5, but this is where you practice. Don't start looking at these techniques when you need them. Start practicing them now. I'm going to freeze these two as well. So note how that first Winter's Bite has spawned the first 2 waves. The last one's over there because of my positioning. I think, yeah, that was using the pillars, wasn't it? So we hit him with the Winter's Bite. That Winter's Bite does enough damage to trigger the first 2 waves. Our positioning when that happens is key. And note as well, we're also staying on the back line. And after firing that initial Winter's Bite and that initial Hand of God, I haven't sent any more arrows over there. That is why the knights are standing still. Now, the likelihood is, unless I come over to this corner, he's probably going to push that knight. Oh, no, okay, he didn't push him down the stairs, he just pushed him out the way. But that's part of the reason why I moved to this corner. I now want him to lock onto me. I'm using my locomotion to force me into this back corner. Do I want to be shooting arrows at these abominations? No. If I miss, it'll alert the knights. I don't want to do that. So we're going to slow time. We're going to push ourselves back into with the locomotion into this corner. I'm going to move out a little bit, and then I'm going to teleport into this corner. Now, why have I done that? Because Anakim should have locked onto me, and he is now heading for that corner. What does this do for me? It gives me an angle to shoot at Anakim and his abominations without alerting the knights, providing he's still going. He is. It gives me an angle to shoot at the abominations and Anakim without arrows going anywhere. Notice how a lot of what I've been talking about tonight, today, whatever you want to call it, is where those arrows that you miss are going and the ramifications that they can have. Now, we didn't quite make it all the way into the corner, but we can work with what we have there. We're going to hit him with another Winter's Bite. We know that that one has already been taken. I can probably put a couple of extra headshots in as well to make sure that we get the stagger. We know that that arch has already been taken. I'm still working and taking abominations out whilst I am waiting for this shit to happen. Slow time freeze, slow time freeze, slow time freeze, and all of a sudden the thing that should really be the only threat left to you now that the knights are all just fucking waiting at the bus stop at the top there are the archers, and they're all on ice ready to be taken out. We don't hit Anakim anymore because we're not ready for the next wave of archers. We're now going to get into this corner, take out what abominations we can. Oops. Don't want to be damaging him. That's not good for us. And then I'm going to teleport straight into the alcove, hopefully. Okay, missed the shot. And again, note I was tucked right into that corner, right tight into that corner before I made my teleport shot. It doesn't matter that I didn't land in the corner. And he's going exactly where I want him to. Hopefully he should scooch to the right. Put another Hand of God on him to slow him. Now we're ready for another Winter's Bite. We want to come a little bit forward on this alcove. I always get right back because sometimes you can have a knight there, and if he sees you visually, he will be alerted. But if you scooch far enough forward, when a monk tries to teleport in here, we kind of reverse telefrag him, and he's trying to teleport, and we kill him. I can put some additional damage in whilst I'm waiting for Winter's Bite to do its ticks and stagger. I can freeze this guy, freeze this guy, freeze this guy. This one hasn't even spawned, but he's still counted, and now he's dead. Oh, he might even be... You know what? He might actually be in the wall. As long as he doesn't hit me, that's fine. Oh, nope, so he's... Oh, no, it was the one behind us. Okay. Be very gingerly about taking that one out. Cool. And now he's dead. Now everything's dead. Anakim is still reeling from the headshot that we dealt him. And now we retreat back into this corner, put some more slow time on him, put another Winter's Bite on him, and now it's just about raining in headshots. This has always been my favourite way, Travis, but I'll be honest with you, with the cycles that people are starting to reach now, even this needs adapting. And it's a good thing about this game that, you know, new things are being found out, new things are being discovered, new things. There's loads to this game, these strategies to take on what should be fucking impossible. But this is only cycle 5. That strategy, providing you follow that way. So note how I dealt with wave of archers 1 and 2 over there, wave 3 over there, wave 4 here. We didn't even see wave 5 or wave 6. 5 has 6 archers. No, we didn't even see wave 5, which has 6 archers. Yeah, we didn't even see wave 5. So that's 6 archers that we didn't even have to deal with. Yes, we're missing out on the points for them. We do get the gold when Anakim drops and they all die. And we also didn't have to deal with the knights either. And even if we had alerted the knights, if we're in here, the worst they're going to do is throw axes at us. It should be an easy freeze, and then you can kill them from there and concentrate on Anakim. Note as well how I didn't use cataclysms there. I didn't use any sort of like KO arrow, and that's because I can hit headshots and I can hit Winter's Bites in. Yeah, possibly. This will work reliably. I've had it work reliably up until about cycle 15, 16. But bear in mind, I haven't played the game to that level since the additional damage has been added. But then, you know, at that point, if you're taking damage, it's either armors or you're probably dead anyway. So it doesn't really matter too much. So at that point, it's about longevity. Not, wait a second, what's going on there? There we go. At that point, it's about longevity, so... Right, what do we get? Blood of the Lamb. Huh. Did I do all that talking about the Blood of the Lamb and then I just took it? I don't remember doing that. Anyway, never mind. Right, so... But it's at this point, and I wasn't expecting to lose any life on Anakim, but it's at this point now you would take your bloods because, you know, if you were at 1 life at this point, well, of course you take that to top yourself up to top because as soon as we leave here, that's it, done. We ain't coming back. It is, as well, worth noting, when you do this strategy, it can be worth checking these alcoves to see if any of the archers have died and dropped an item, dropped an arrow or quiver or an extra something or other, because they still get killed when Anakim dies. It's not that they've disappeared, they're just so far over here that they haven't been alerted and don't come into our AO. There is one occasionally that will, as being talked about. I think he's got a name. There always seems to be one white monk that might teleport into your field of view more often than not, especially at those higher cycles. But yeah, that strategy will, I mean, yeah, reliably get you up to cycle 12, I would have said. So, and the other thing, the reason why, as Travis was saying, you get to a point where it doesn't work is, even though your Winter's Bites are always doing the same percentage of damage to him, the numbers go up the more health he gets. So you're always doing the same amount of percentage damage to him. What lets you down is your arrows not doing enough damage to take him out quickly enough. That's when you need to start changing the strategy. Hang on a second. Let me read that. Hold on. Let me just clear this. I think I got most of that, but I do want to check before I start going off on a tangent. My world famous tangents. Again, I'm being a little bit nonchalant in my angles here because I know that there's only going to be either one enemy at the end of there or none. And what is at the end of there is cupids, and they're all up high. So the arrows that go whizzing out that way are not going to alert them. Could have alerted her, but... Again, there's lots of things that I will tell people to do, but, you know, I've got to the point where these are not high enough cycles where I need to be doing them. So, and, you know, we try to keep things entertaining and moving. So, yeah, if you hear me saying about doing a thing, do it. I do try and lead by example. I'm not always great at it. But, you know, I'm not always playing for an audience. So, there you go. Right. Let me see what that question was. And yeah, thank you for all the questions so far as well. Keep them coming. If anybody wants to know anything about this game, I will endeavour to tell you. Other big choke point is the first incubi after Asmodeus. Can you show how to do that without Cupid's Wrath or cats, so you can carry multiple Winter's Bites? Yes, I can. There's multiple ways. What, is that... That's not Keith Dragon, Keith, is it? No, I assume not. What cycle are you having problems with him on, Keith? Hello. Oh, we need to clear the bottom first. Going a bit quick. Oh! Hello, Mr. Dragon. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I figured it. I needed to make sure it was you, because then I know that you're going to be in the higher cycles. I can show you multiple ways. I'll show you one of my favourites that you can do with what you have. So, Paradise Lost. Unlucky for some. The general strategy that I would have here would be deal with everything on one level, i.e. the bottom level, deal with the things on the outside, and then you move up. And what that does is that means that you have dealt with a lot of the threats. Like, if I leave those guys there and move up to the next level, that's where I'll get in trouble. There's enough to fight on the next level without having to worry about fucking skyrats on the outside. So, as far as your question, Mr. Dragon, so we'll have these guys as well. And we can shoot them with not a massive amount of consequences. Yeah, we might alert, like, a Cupid like that one. And that might bring down an enemy or two. But that's just less for us to deal with whilst we're clearing. But this is part of the reason why in Paradise Lost, and again, at all cycles, clear the floor, then clear the outsides. So just in case you alert anything on the next level through shooting Cupids out of the sky or hitting crenellations or just wayward shots, they teleport down to somewhere that you have already cleared. It's all about making safe the areas that you are fighting in before you go into the next one. In Purgatory, we make the area safe before we go into the next room. Here, it's a bit bigger scale than that. We make the area safe before we go to the next level. So, which in essence is kind of the same sort of thing. But it's part of the problem. The two main problems that somebody who gets to this point of the game, like that guy's you know, we'll deal with him on another level. Firing shots all the way up there is probably going to alert something. He's very twitchy. What? I've never seen him move like that. Why is he twitching like that? I'm totally doing it. I'm totally doing it. It's like the Phoebe sketch. That's me. He's twitching because I move. Anyway, that's enough of that. So, now we're up onto the next level. So, that's at the point where we might come for him after we've made this bit safe. And yeah, it's going to take me a while to get there, Keith. I can talk about the strategy, but I will endeavour to show it off as well. Is that divine sight times 1? Ooh. 2 seconds. Ooh. Always when I'm trying to do something, isn't it? Every single time. Right, we've alerted him. If we stand here and wait and look in a direction, there's going to be one of 3 outcomes. He'll move into our line of view, he'll teleport into our field of view, or he'll just forget about us. So you always wait. One of the things that I have found, I was testing this the other day on Mortal, I think there is some sort of algorithm within the game where enemies are designed to teleport into you whilst you are shooting. I mean, you know, it might be placebo effect, I don't know. But it would make sense because everything always seems to teleport in at the worst time. And it's usually when you are in the depths of combat and extra stuff starts jumping all over your face. Oh, hello, Anton. How we doing? I'm sure I got Sky Rats from the Facebook group, if I'm honest. I thought it was great. Hello, Dr. Zog. How we doing? So, yeah, remind me about the incubi side of things as well. I'm pretty sure I'll try and cover it. But you can actually, might be able to do it in the pit. Might be able to do it in the pit, depending on where he teleports, to try and show an example. This isn't particularly great play. Firing that arrow out there, if there are more, is going to alert them. Hello, KT. And we don't want that. So we've definitely alerted some, and so we wait. They will come. And I am slow timing and slow timing and slow time. Hell, this is weird, Tony. You must be between projects or something. That super busy lifestyle of yours. How you doing, mate? So I'm going to... Those are shots where if you are confident in hitting them, they don't become a problem. If you miss them, they then become a massive problem. Now, why did that witch teleport behind me? They don't do that. You said they don't do that. And the reason being is when that Banshee decided to teleport down here, I was looking this way and I fired a teleport arrow past it. So the theory still stands. So, and it's part of the reason why, as it gets harder and harder and higher cycles, I think enemies have a tendency to, their flash to bang time, as it were, from seeing you and then teleporting down your throat is decreased. So that's why, because you're moving fast, it seems like they're teleporting behind you with a lot more regularity. But if you hit your headshots, and when you can manage the amount of enemies and kind of hold your ground, you're good. Now, I don't want to go outside there, but I do want to check and make sure there's no enemies down that side. So I'm going to stay in cover and make use. And again, note how I'm kind of like cutting the pie here so that I don't alert too many enemies at the same time. I think we've got most of them in there. Anyway, so cleared that side, cleared that side. We've cleared this floor. The area is secure, Ripley. All good. So now we're going to start proceeding around the outside. Thank you, Vaughn. We're going to start proceeding around the outside after I've done a battery. We're going to start going around the outside of the level, this same level, and we're going to clear that out next. Let's pop that one there. And let's pop that one in. Lucky battery. going in. Let's just make sure. Yeah, we're good. Right. Oh, I've only got an hour left. I haven't even barely started. Fucking Paradise Lost. Get used to this, though. We're going to get to the point where it might take 2 episodes for me to do a cycle with the amount I yammer on. Right, so. I mean, give great tips, tricks, and strategies. So, now we're going to start dealing with these outside ones. I'm not necessarily going for headshots. I'm trying to go for shots that I know will kill. Because I don't want to alert them and then have them teleporting on me. I want to kill them. Definitely alerted a guy up there. Don't want to fight him outside. Wait here a second. See what he does. Finger hovering over slow time. If you're not quite as quick and confident on the slow time, do this whilst you're waiting. Because then when he does teleport, he'll be in stupid slow motion whilst you are feathering. And then you can hold it when he's here and then drop the shot on him. But it looks like he's lost interest. That's fine. We're going to carry on around the outside. We don't want to be shooting those guys up on the crenellations. Not just yet. Although that is another strategy. There's 2 there. We don't know what's in there. We don't know what's up there. But we can take him out. And if we were worried at what's up there and missing that shot, we could now go back in now that we've taken one of the 2 out and wait for him to teleport. However... Oh, that was the right time to land the headshot. Note how I have alerted an enemy up there, though, so exactly what I said happened. I'll come inside. He's teleported into my field of view. This is now 1 less enemy above that I have to deal with. So, one of the other strategies that you can use for this, once you've cleared the outside, and by clearing the outside, you kind of make safe... Oh, yeah, thanks. Cheers. Look at that champ. That's how you use fucking crenellations. Just fire over the top of them. What a boy. And I can't get the angle on him because I can't see. Thank you, Divine Sight. You're such a great arrow. You really are. So I'm going to get out of the way and I'll look this way. See what he does. I don't... Is he going to teleport in? I don't think he is. Probably would have done it before now. So... And I can't get too much further forward. I was after those. I can see his life bar, though. Oh, there we go. Lovely. That's exactly what I don't want to happen. I want to be taking these out quickly. This is where Tempest comes in for you if you haven't got a lot of experience with the game. Because you can make those shots first time reliably and not have to get into sniper duels with Cupids. Simple as that. Right. We've done this side of the outside. Let's just go and have one last check. Now, one of the other things that I was going to mention as well. Right. Yeah, it wasn't lost on me, Doc. Oh, I was going for the headshot. One of the... One of the other things to do whilst you are combing the outsides of these levels is actually revisiting where you think you have done. And the reason being is as you are clearing enemies on one side, others may be spawning on the other, and then as you go there, more spawn over there, kill them, come back this side, and it frees up the game space to spawn more enemies. So this is why if you're struggling with Paradise Lost, you do this over and over and over again until you are fucking certain there is nothing on the outside that hasn't even spawned in yet. And it's also worth, because note that guy wasn't there previously. I don't think there's any more. That guy wasn't there previously. The reason why they're there now is because we've killed enough enemies on the outside and kind of some from the next level as well to allow them to spawn in, because the game only allows so many spawns around you. Otherwise they are just invisible until they spawn in. So what we're going to look at doing next... Ooh, what is that? That was really far away, wasn't it? Or is it just above me? Definitely to my right. Are you at the end? Cunning. Right. I want a bow like the Cupids have got. They're so tiny. Right. So. Let's see, what can we do? Pop up here. have a look around. We know that it is safe below us. This is the most important part of the whole going from one level to another. Is if you don't like going up to the next level because you've jumped up somewhere and it's looking fucking nasty up there, you just do what I just did then, jump back down again. I promise you the things that have teleported will follow you. And that one Banshee kill is a lot easier than that Banshee, you firing shots off, missing, alerting other enemies, and all of a sudden it becomes a clusterfuck. And you can do that one enemy at a time. Come up, visually lure, go back down again. That's 2. We'll look this direction. Thank you very much. Nice free kill. Good old Divine Sight. Perfect. And this is all basically chomping down on the work that I would have to do on the next level anyway, and doing it piecemeal. I'm kind of glad Volley 5 spawned, because I replaced Divine Sight with Volley 5 for the simple reason that up close and personal, as you have seen me done with Orphans previously, is this will like one-shot KO as long as you are very close, because all 5 arrows go into the Orphan. The Winter's Bite strategy that I showed you earlier, there's another variation of that where you lock the knights out of the game, and at the very later cycles, that's what this is for. Damage dealing to archers and to knights. Right, we're up, we're safe, we're established. Let's do this level. Now, this one's the one to be more careful on, because his crenellations allow more lines of sight. Ooh, little quiver there, lovely. His crenellations allow more line of sight from top to bottom, which is why you can get more enemies spilling down onto you. Thankfully, we shouldn't have to worry about our left here, because I've cleared. Hello, Buck. How are we doing? I've cleared all of that on the left, so no worries. I hear something on the left. Note how I saw the flash of the arrow and then moved. That's why that arrow will never hit me. At these lower cycles, when those arrows get fast, they will be able to hit you because they move fast enough that you can't just step out of the way. You can, like, twist out of the way, but I don't know about you, I'm getting a bit too old for athletics in VR. I mean, Hellsweep is a bit different. It lets me go upside down. Yeah, I'm all good, thanks, Buck. I still haven't got around to Anakim. I will try. I really will. Got a lot of work on. Got a lot of work. Right. Now, I don't particularly like the looks of that. I've got 2 options. I can get in there and start clearing that. I can try and fight, which I should not do. I'm liking the option of getting in here, though. If that had have been a lot of knights... See that pass through there? And technically that was kind of more of a miss. If they'd have been knights up there, I would not have done what I just done. I would have gone back down again. Because it's guys that aren't going to aggressively charge me down, I can kind of just sit here now and see what comes my way. And start again, taking it out piecemeal. No, it's one of the problems that I have with doing the Tips in 30 Ticks videos, is like, it seems like I spend all day in the headset, but I don't actually play anything. Hello. What were you? What's so interesting down there? See that little head turn? Oh, the Cupid's acting really weird tonight. So, that's a shot I don't mind taking. That's a single shot and he's dead. But note how I went for him first, because you could spend forever in the day trying to shoot down that archer. Forget about the Cupid, and that'll be the one that teleports and gets you. Right, so we've whittled down the numbers sufficiently here. These are shots that I don't mind taking. Up, because where are they going? If I miss, they're not flying off into the ether to alert Cupids that I can't see. They're just hitting stone, and that's good. So I think we've done the vast majority of up here. So level complete. Oh, here is another one. Don't mind if I do. Now, this one's a little bit different. Going from bottom to top on this particular section, I don't think is a particularly good idea, because there's a lot of enemies in that middle section that can see you from middle. The whole point of going from one level to the next is that you can limit the amount of enemies that can A, target you, or B, teleport to you, whereas in there is not the case. So this is where I would employ a different strategy. There are other sections in the game that are like this, because it's like, I don't want to start from the bottom of that. There's only a couple of levels, but the problem is it's all tight and all the levels can kind of see each other from the bottom. So what do? Well, we go in from the top. That wasn't where I was aiming for, but never mind. He's still seen me, even though I was trying to avoid that. But I would much rather fight him down there, making use of the crenellations, because very least I can nope out of this if I wanted to. But this is getting a bit nasty, isn't it? It's getting very nasty. Woo! See? I should have noped out of that situation. Instead, I took a hit. And another. What fantastic example. I should not have taken that hit. That is such a tight angle. Oh, for fuck's sake. And so, here's... Hello, farmer. How are we doing? So, here's what we're going to talk about next. Resource management, why it's important, and how quickly your run can go to shit. Now, I've been playing the game long enough that I can then just slow everything right down and make sure that I stem this loss of life. But if you panic in that situation, that can be fucking run over. I don't even know where that guy is. And it can be a legitimate series of unfortunate events. It can be like, you know, the arrow just fucking getting me when... Oh, that was a bad one. That was a bad one. It was a good hit, but that felt a bit cheaty. But he does fire 4 arrows, so, you know, one of them might have made the angle. So, as you can see, those 3 hits have cost us 2, 4, 6 things of life. Another 3, we're out if we didn't have Grace of God. So, at this point, I am happily going to pick up Blood to the Lamb. Happily. Now, we haven't had a chance to check the shop, but I would imagine there'll be at least a blood in there. And it's at this point, if you've been paying attention, you'll know that there was how many Bloods of the Lambs back in the level? And it's also, like as I said I was going to do, starting to have a bit of respect for the game at this stage. I should. I haven't. Not yet. I should. What do you mean I can't headshot you through your skirt? Come on now. Right. Was there any Blood of the Lambs back there? Well, we kind of need to go back and check. Nope. Oh, it might be run over, chat. Nope. Nope. So, hopefully, as you can see, even with all the slow time in the world, and I'm considered good at this game, cycle 5 and I got 6 health taken off of me in very quick order. Now, obviously we come preloaded with excuses on this channel, like I'm trying to comment on everything that I do, show examples and stream, but that doesn't matter. Again, bad play, don't do this, make the time to come back. You're watching me, so I haven't got the time to come back, as far as I'm concerned. I aren't planning on using any Winter's Bites, but that's in essence 14 Winter's Bites that we could have used on the next section for free, and picking up that quiver that early is bad form. This is something else that you can do as well. There could be items spawned very deep into the level. If I was on particularly low life, could be a last chance to do this. If you see your hand splay out, if you then hold trigger, whatever it is that you are pointing at will come towards you. It could be the difference between getting a piece of life that is all the way back there and getting you that extra hit to get through the early part of the level that may allow you to complete. Yes, yeah, what I should have done, Anton, oh, Tony, I should have noped out. It keeps on calling you, Anton, obviously, that's your name. But, yeah, what I should have done is I should have noped out. So, but we're alright, we'll recover from that, that's easy enough. Yeah, I should have noped out of that situation. So, but this, again, is one of the dangers of going over the top, so to speak, is that I would much rather be fighting top down on them, because simply, like, you know, if you're fighting from the top, it's the easiest way I can put it. Let's say we're fighting this massive piece of rock, okay, and we're above it. We have the high ground on the Anakim rock, and you can just move back, and then all of a sudden that rock is not a threat to us because it can't see us. Well done, farmer. Right? They say my tips will do that. They say my tips will do that. Right, let's, whilst he's staring at the wall, we'll take out those two. Again, should be being careful here and changing my angle so I'm not sending arrows whizzing off to where I know enemies. Note the visual alert. And then I'll come back, and I can probably use that bit of wall there to corner him. He sprinted all the way past me. Oh, this might be a red in disguise, I think. Nope, that was a white. Just a particularly fast one. Alright, hang on. Yeah, the one thing that I will say... Congratulations, obviously, farmer, but one of the things I will say... Yeah, I know. I know, Rocket, yeah. One of the things that I will say is part and parcel of the joy of defeating Asmodeus is not knowing what to do and working it out. But what you should then do is look at bits and pieces that my videos will show you afterwards to help you refine your techniques. But then, you know, who am I to say? I'm the guy who's providing the tips and tricks, so I want you watching the videos. So I do try and keep spoilers down to a minimum. There's two things that really, well, more than two. There's two things that really got me about this game when I first played it for the first time. The two most memorable things. I mean, obviously, you know, archery, VR. But the two memorable things from when I started playing, engaging in the roguelike properly, because I played this as a Siege of Heaven player to begin with. The two major things that got me was the appearance of new enemies the more and more you play. And it just kept it feeling fresh and terrifying because new things were now in the world and you hadn't seen them yet. So there was that. And the fight with Asmodeus was, it took me a good 4 or 5 attempts to work out what I actually needed to do at the different stages. And, yeah, they're memorable experiences. That was bad play. Yeah, that's what I aim for, mate. Yeah. It's, I do try and, I don't want to spoon feed, because I don't think, what the fuck are they doing up there? I don't want to spoon feed anybody anything. I don't mind giving, like, sort of general hints and tips, or giving you the first part so that you can work out the next logically. That would be my favourite sort of tips and tricks. And then it means that you have to pay attention to get the multi-layeredness. So, that's always part of the play. See, that was a bad miss. That could alert all sorts of nasty. I mean, he's not an easy boss, you know? But again, from me coming from Siege and being able to manipulate slow time to the extent that I do, as you can probably appreciate, makes him a lot easier a boss. Ah, right, cool. No, that's cool. You'd already known. You already knew. Right, where's that orphan? Right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I came... I played the roguelike of this game originally. I played the roguelike of this game originally, and I didn't like it. Yeah, you can get incubi inside the shops as well in Abyss. I've had that a couple of times. I originally did not like the roguelike element of this game and did not like the main game. And I played it once, wasn't a fan, and went and played Siege of Heaven. And that was what drew me in originally. Because of the competition, and then For the Right and Beanie and Schemos and a few others that were around at that time. And then through having competed and played at a reasonably high level, I guess, in Siege of Heaven, gave me all of those slow time transferable skills, which then all of a sudden meant that I went from having a nightmare in the main game to really enjoying it. So, right, we can take you out as long as I make that shot without alerting anything else. Lots of nasty up there. There's two ways that we can play this. I don't want to have to, like, try and take all of that on at the same time. So I've got a couple of options. I can walk towards the edge, try and alert one or two, teleport back here, look down this corridor, and they will teleport into this corridor eventually. Or I can go up here, bypass the problem for now. Now I think she's either up one or round to the right. Yeah, the problem with the orphan in Paradise Lost is the levels are almost as dense in enemies. The denseness in enemy amount to size of level ratio is almost like the pits. She's just round here. Oh, hello. There you go. What do you mean you can't find a weep? She's right there. Get your specs on, mate. No, I very much feel your pain. I don't think they're going to get alerted, but I'm going to keep looking because I've got nothing else to do. She ain't going to go anymore where she's at that brilliant amount of distance where she's got nowhere to run, but I'm not close enough to force her to teleport. So she'll just sit there. Perfect. And a Winter's Bite. You shouldn't have. No, really, you shouldn't have. Picked up a quiver back there to replace the Winter's Bite. So that's why you don't do what I did earlier. I picked up the quiver to refill the Winter's Bite. I could have used this Winter's Bite to do that, and then I would have had a quiver for something else. That is a classic example of what happens if you pick up your resources too early and don't leave them on the board. Now, this is not quite taking things out top down, but it's not a million miles away. Ooh, he just got his shot off. Again, I should have changed the angle before I took the shot, because then that shot whizzes over there and doesn't alert him, whereas the miss here would. Damn. Ooh. When you hear that creak and you can't see where the orphan is immediately, move. Teleport, locomotion, shard, whatever. Just move. Oh look, a clusterfuck of sky rats. That seems to be something that's happened in the last couple of seasons as well, where they all teleport onto the same fucking spot. It's like, is there not enough sky? Come on, Cupids, get it together, Jesus. Right, so now we can approach this situation that was looking quite nasty top down. And this is probably a better example. We'll deal with that lot in a minute. It's probably a better example. So what I can do now is I can fire down at this guy. It may alert one of the two around the corner. They will all come into field of view because they have nowhere to teleport onto me. Cupids would, but these guys don't fly. They float. And that's 3 enemies of the sort of like 7 of a clusterfuck that was in there. And 2 of the not so dangerous ones, although we did take a hit from a Banshee earlier. And then the probably the most dangerous one, which was the Archer. And that just makes this situation a lot easier to manage. We'll go for the Archer first, stagger him, try and get the Cupid. And then, so this is another thing that the further and further you get into the game, you have to start doing. Oh, lovely. One of the things you have to start doing is, as well as using slow time, managing the staggering of multiple enemies so that you can deal with multiple. To begin with, oh, you sneaky fuck. To begin with, you do it with 2. And then you slowly start trying to crank those numbers up. When you get to that'll serve you well in the lower to mid cycles, but then when you get to the higher cycles, you will get to a point where they move fast enough and you haven't got enough time to like hit them all. And again, it's another one of those situations where you do what we do. You fucking run. Right, let's go back to where we were. Now, I might be able to take that knight out without alerting any of his buddies. Lovely. Dramatic death included. And they're not alerted. So, 2 ways we could go about this. I could jump up on top and fire down on them. But there's a lot of sky rats over there as well. One thing's for certain, there's not a lot of cover there. So the 2 options would be, duel them from here, they will win, they have the numbers. So the better shout I would go for would be to teleport into here. No, I'm using slow time before I've even landed. I haven't got it yet. No. I was planning on having a word with the developers. Now, I don't know how much is left up there. I wasn't counting. But I'm teleporting down here because 1 or 2 of those arrows may have been strays, which they were. Now that I've done a fair old bit of work, I'm going to reap the rewards of that and come down here and see what follows me down. Yeah, Davago's a bit of a strange one. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I want to get it, but $18.99 for an App Lab game is a bit much. And I'm like weebs in these regards as well. Give me 10% off and I'll be happy. I'm never going to pay something full price. I suppose it's one of these age-old adages where the whole sales thing does work on me, but up until that point, I won't get things. Ooh. See, this is just a bad idea. It's just a bad idea to come up here at this point. But we'll always have this pillar. Oh. But I won't sail on quest. I'm tempted to have a word. Yeah. Hello, Ken. So, that didn't go so well. Good example, I guess. We come back down. We wait. Because my stray shots and not angling myself alerted the archer behind. And that's another one of those situations where you've got an enemy that's maybe shielded or can hit the staff or something along those lines. And then all of a sudden, you've got problems. Hello, Kieran. How we doing? I see. Thing is, I don't know. I know what you said earlier, Tony. I don't know if I'm doing you a favour or not, giving you enough to get back into this. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I really don't. But yeah, right. We are on the road to recovery. I should not have lost this much life. But it's at that stage, that's where you don't panic and you slow down. I can't teach that, though. It just, that comes with experience. But imagine if we'd have been on cycle 9. I would have died. That would have been nasty, wouldn't it? Right, so I don't want to shoot straight on. Shooting there, the misses will probably hit that monk. So we've got another alternative, is instead of going for headshots, we shoot low. If you're not confident that you can hit those headshots, and you could alert a lot of nasty behind them, aim low. I mean, no one's watching, so it doesn't really matter too much, does it? But what it then does is it's freed up a little bit more space for me. Now, yes, I've missed out on points. Do you want to play like that with every single fucking enemy? No. Now, I hate that part of the level. It is designed in mind. The enemy spawns are designed in mind for you either to cross over there and deal with them, or follow the floor and follow your way around. However, I care little for these games. Super bright. I'm going up here. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm going up here. After the Fall, I haven't played. Yeah, I know some of the others. Some of the gang have. Oh, come on, pass through. Yeah, I'm going to deal with this top down. Fucking what you got? +5 silence boots on. Silent as the grave now. Right. So, before I was rudely interrupted, this isn't a bad situation for us to deal with right now. 1 archer, 3 knights. What's the threat here? The archer, because he can shoot fast. What is not the threat here, if we move all the way back, is the knights. I showed this off on the last stream. If you can't land that headshot first time, just fire loads of arrows so that you can kill him. That is now the threat dealt with. Now, we might actually be far enough away that he isn't... Oh, no, he is going to throw axes. So we are close enough that he will throw axes. As I've talked about in most streams, they do have a union. If they can't see enough of you, their addendum is to not throw axes, because it's a waste of materials. Waste of resources, they say. So if we get all the way back here, and I reduce the amount of him that I can see to kind of just his head, I'm kind of reducing the possibility of me missing the head, and also because he can't see enough of my hitbox, even if he was closer to me than that, he would not throw axes. So let's do the same with this guy. Let's alert him first. Let's alert them both. Why not, eh? So now they are at that beautiful range where they're not going to move because they can't path towards me, and they're also not going to throw axes because they're too far enough away. So we can again extend the range and take our sweet time to land some headshots. Now that one's going to present a problem. He's kind of off the platform enough that he won't be able to path to us. So we will leave him for later. I still don't like the look of that, but it's looking better because there aren't quite so many enemies down the bottom. Yeah, let's deal with this. Now, note that Cupid at the back, I don't want to take that shot because I know there's a lot of fucking enemies at the back. Sidestep, miss. Oh, I actually tried to miss that. And it's fucking... Look at that, I hit the tip of his wing. But even if I did miss, it was going nowhere. So for this one, same again though. I don't want arrows flying out of that window. Body shot to stop her casting. Rain in the headshots. If I do miss, shouldn't be going through the archway. Unless it's a really bad miss. Those do happen. Right, still a lot of enemies down there to deal with. I'd like to get everything dealt with up top and potentially across there as well before we start breaking that down there. So let's see what we can do. I reckon we can get those 3 without alerting the others. And if we can clear those 3, we can jump across to there. So let's take out the threat first. And then we still do have cover. Note how that Cupid spawned in. And that's due to the rule of 17, as I've spoken about in the past. So that's dealt with the left-hand side, and it hasn't alerted anything on the right. Now, there can be a shitload of enemies in the middle. There might still be. We don't really want to be taking any chances here. So let's go off to the right. Yes, there was a lot of enemies in there. Don't go that far off to the right because there is a window there. I always forget about that fucking window. But they can't get me. I have alerted them. That's probably enough distance between me and them. Don't you even try that shot. What a prick. There is enough distance between me and the wall that if one of them was going to spawn in, he's got enough space to play with there. Anyway, let's try clearing up the top first. And so, hopefully what I'm trying to impart here is there may be some times when trying to pick the level apart seems fucking impossible. And my advice would be, don't rush it, change angles. All sorts of shit happens in this game. Enemies might catch a glimpse of you, and then they're ready to teleport on top of you, and then that's one less enemy to deal with in the space that you were going to have problems with. And you just keep on like building and building and building around that until you're able to conquer. Like, for instance, from here, we can take that Cupid out, and there's nobody around for him to see us. Would have been great if I could have got him before he shot back. And that's alerted something else. So that's one less enemy for us to deal with. Now we've kind of cleared this side. So now we can approach that mess in there from a better angle. Oh, thanks. Don't want to have to airwalk. Oh yeah, just spawn in, why don't you? I don't even think that's to do with the rule of 17. I think there's some, as I keep saying, I think there's some weirdness with Banshee spawns, because they just pop in whenever they fucking like. Always check in here, not just for enemies, because there's often a Cupid, sometimes two, in this little alcove. But this is also one of the spots where item level loot can spawn. What am I trying to pick up there? Oh, Cupid's rat. Through the wall, no less. Again, finger is very much on the slow time, or near the slow time at all times. And it's about time we go down there now. So, note, just by dicking around up there and having a look around, me chatting with you, I've lured 3 of the Banshees out from this mess. That is a mess. This is the sort of situation where I would usually not try and juggle all of this, because it results in hits. Did that hit? Yes, it did. Live a little, eh? If she gets her shot off, though, I am running. I am not going to defend against that. You can block those plasma balls with a shield. Never do it unless you absolutely have to. I've been hit plenty of times where you think you've got the shield, right place, and still gets you. Still gets you. So, again, that was a situation where it's probably too much for you to deal with. And the thing is, the reason why I say too much and I can deal with it is I'm used to doing that on much higher cycles where they've got a lot more health. But if you are aware of your abilities, and even if, like in that situation, I jump out here and I can take out just one of them, and then up here to where we've cleared, run to here, maybe even go into the shop and rest at Sanctuary, we can reset and we can start again. And these are the ways that you take these impossible situations that you can find in Death Unchained and break them down. Like, I don't really, with them moving all over the place, want to shoot all over there. What I'd like to do is get here. Yeah, no worries, Anton. Cheers, Tony. See you later. This is what I was talking about managing them as well. Moving from one and slow timing to the other, so that I can make sure that they're in a constant state of stagger, because if they're staggering, they're not attacking. And if they're not attacking, I can't get hit. So, now that's dealt with some of the Banshees that are in here. Now, let's see what we are dealing with ever so slightly. That's alerted some things. Now, the Banshee will always teleport in on us, or walk round. They don't care. They have no sense of personal space for the player, whereas at least monks do. So, but again, there's probably not enough distance for that archer to teleport in right on that corner. They won't teleport too close to you, archers. If they do, it's because you've moved from somewhere to somewhere else, and where they've decided to teleport is now too close to you, but it's too late for them. Again, note the angle. We've cleared all that, so it doesn't matter if that happens. It's not going to alert anything. Now, we've cleared quite a lot of this. There's probably not too much left now, but let's have a look. Yeah, we can deal with that. That was a very quick shot. It's those ones are why you need slow time. So, unbeknownst to me, because I didn't see it, that guy had been alerted and didn't teleport in on us previously. And that is why he got the jump on us with that arrow. But again, slow time saves all. Right, let's see if we can work out a decent angle for dealing with all of that, because I don't want to deal with it on the way that we should do. Now, if I keep my arrows high and try and stay out of line of sight of those things at the bottom, we might be able to take out some of those sky rats around the corner. However, she's presenting a bit of a juicy dangle right there. So we're going to take these out first. That's an archer. And I'm going. I probably could get a kill there beforehand, but I would rather just foxtrot. And we are reasonably safe. The enemies are now coming after us. Single file. Not to hide their numbers, no. It's not because they're like sand people. It's because they're fucking idiots. Hey, it's in the programming. So, those three potentially nasty enemies together have all been driven apart, and we've been able to take them out piecemeal. And, like a good little furball, there's only one left. So now we'll start on this side. That up there is a classic reason why you use the slow time between each shot. Even when it seems like you don't need to, you never fucking know. We might be able to kill that guy without alerting the others. He is the threat. They're going to fire a lot slower. Let's see if we can take him out with a headshot. Lovely. Has it alerted anything? No, it hasn't. Okay. So now we can get into position, ready to run if we get swarmed, and lots of use of slow time. And let's take out the easiest, closest one first and see what happens. And we didn't hit. Couple of shards, and I'm out of there. Ready to fight again. Good stuff. Yeah, to be fair, Buck, Onward does go on sale. It has gone on sale pretty regularly. I do wonder, as it happens, whether... Oh, 2 seconds. I do wonder, as it happens, if there has been like a recent uptick in players with mercenary mode. And like, you know, people who have Onward trying to get people who don't have Onward into it. Yeah, I know, right? Look, right, I know what you're trying to say, Buck, but it's not my fault. I'm a very small video DJ. Very small. Not an influencer. He didn't even fall off right. Yeah, it's typical though, isn't it? It was one of the first things that I said about Onward. It's got a cool new mode. Don't buy this game at full price. No way. It goes on sale. It has. Yeah, I know. It has gone on sale. I think I've seen Onward as little as maybe 50% off. I've definitely seen a 40% off. I mean, I don't know. Is it in the May thing that's on at the moment? Don't know. I know I'm probably speaking to myself here. Hey, what else is new in some occasions? If there are any Warhammer 40k fans amongst you, I don't know why, but Battle Sisters, the Warhammer 40k Battle Sisters, has been at $5.99 for this Warhammer Skulls event that they're doing. I don't think it's part of the Warhammer Skulls event. I think it's supposed to be 30% off with that May code. I don't know if something's gone wrong or if they've added... okay. Well, I'm going to chase that up later because I've sent some others as well and they haven't come through either. But I'll have a look at that. But yeah, Battle Sisters at the moment is $5.99, which... It's not an amazing game. It definitely suffers from not having some of the caveats and some of the quality of life things that we kind of expect from shooting games. But if you like your Warhammer and your Warhammer 40k and you're a bit of a Warhammer 40k geeky nerd like I am, you'll get your enjoyment out of it. I mean, you get a fucking chainsword for fuck's sake, and you get to fire a bolt gun. It feels a bit weedy, if I'm honest. I expected more kick and loud. But, you know, and you don't get a heavy bolter, which would have really tickled my fancy. Right. We'll get that now. We might as well. Just getting singles at the moment. Brilliant. And we're going to play Gabriel nice and slow. Ooh. Ah, no. Batteries. My batteries are getting really bad. And I don't think Bobo will replace them. Copious amounts of slow time whilst I'm doing this, as ever. But yeah, as you said with Onward, it's always going to be on the way, be the way. But yeah, so if anybody wants to have a look at Battle Sisters, I've never seen it that low, $5.99. It's normally $14.99. I think it's probably worth about $11.99, so half that. I don't know if you like your shooter games, it's a bit of a no-brainer. And it does have a co-op horde mode as well. So yeah, I mean, I try and do that. Yeah, the Battle Sisters thing is just something I came across. I've played Battle Sisters all the way through, and it's good. I like it. It's not an amazing game, and as I said, it falls a bit short. Yeah, there's a May sale on at the moment where you put the code May30 in on select games, and you can get 30% off. I think I checked Onward. It'd be worth getting it in your cart and putting May 30 in and see if you get 30% off, because 30% off Onward is better than 25%. So, but, right, come down. I checked earlier on today, and it was still on. Like, for instance, the Battle Sisters thing has 1 day left. Note how I'm using slow time between my shots as well as Hand of God. Now, why am I not using Winter's Bite here to whittle down his health a load? Because every single one of those shots is worth like 300 or 400 points plus the gold. And all I'm wasting to do all of that is a Hand of God. You can get a decent amount of points out of Gabe at the later cycles when he's got huge amounts of health. I mean, you could say he's got huge amounts of health now. And what is this? Again, it's Hand of God. If I'm quick here, might. Go on, go on. God! I blinked. I had him and I blinked. You win this time, Gabriel. You win this time. Now die like the dog you are. Ah, that's what you want to see, isn't it? 1. Oh, for fuck's sake. I haven't had a single double since it all went horribly wrong. This one's for you, K2. Fuck. Did this earlier. I can make it most of the times with the crossbow now. It's so white up here. Look at this. Like you've been flashbanged. Anyway. Abyss. Remind me to talk about the incubi when I get there, the first one. So, okay, I mean, I can start talking about it and then I'll try and give an example a little bit later on. See what we're like on battery. Oh, I think we can get through this in about half an hour if I crack the whip a little. And I can get a good bedtime. Got editing to do tomorrow. Right. Woo! I am hoping to get some... Well, we're definitely going to be covering some dungeons, because I need to get my level ups as well. It's all I seem to do in my live streams, get work done that I should be doing in my own time. Can't really give much in the ways of... much more in the ways of tips and tricks of dungeons. I think I've given them all. But I can help you get the things and the stuff, so that's good. Yeah, no worries, weebs. You're most welcome, dude. Always... No, not yet. They've really slowed the leveling up down. To be fair to them, it should have been like that. For the way that it levels up, it should have been like that from the start. Because for me, a lot of these games where the level up bar is still ticking and still going up are very compelling to keep on playing. Because when you get to the end of them, that's when things start to drop off a little bit and you need more. So... yeah, it's definitely taken a while. It definitely seems a lot slower than it was. But, you know, or maybe it was too fast originally. So, that's what I've been looking for, that guy. Always make sure you find, eliminate him. There is always one at the start of every single one of these structures that you begin with in Abyss. And yeah, nice one, Bob. Good job, I heard it. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely haven't hit the middle ground, I don't think. But yeah, it was too fast previously and too slow now. But then I don't know, I haven't gone through level 10 to 50, so maybe it's still as quick as it was and they've just really slowed the grind down. Or, sorry, really increased the grind for these last 10 levels to keep the player base playing whilst they get more content out. Or at least that's what I'm hoping for. So, and yeah, if you're still here, Von, do let me know if that comes through. I'm going to pursue it tonight when I get off, most likely. Yeah. Yeah, healing staff's like a fucking gigabeam. Has anybody actually even I'm pretty sure someone's mentioned it. They must be sorting that out. Oh, do they? Okay. I mean, to be fair, we were at a stage, it was like mainly me, Von, John, and Mr. Fish. And we were probably playing a good, I don't know, it felt like at least 5 to 10 dungeons a day, if not more than that. And that game, like, we rinsed it, probably more than that. And we rinsed Dungeons of Eternity for a good, I think it was about 3 weeks. Right. You and your heels, and Sarah as well, of course. Yeah, there was a good few of us going at that game a lot. And we all did the same. We got to the end of it and it was kind of like, oh, we want more. But then you look back and the experiences and the times that we had, you know, it's definitely a full-fledged game. It was just, I don't know, one of those first world problems. Oh, it was too good. I don't want it to end. Good things, all good things. All good things come to an inevitable end. So, hopefully, Dungeons of Eternity do not make the same mistake of Super Bright do. And turn around to us and go, oh yeah, we'll make new content, but we're not doing paid for DLC. Oh no, it's still very fun. I get a lot of enjoyment with playing with you lot, and there's leveling up to do, and we've got the two-handed weapons to play with and everything. But as I said, I'm hoping that they don't fall into the trap. Hey, I'm not saying nothing. I'm hoping that they don't fall into the trap Super Bright kind of not force themselves into, but have their moral code on of like people screaming out for paid for DLC for this game. Even if it was just skins, they would have had me hook, line and sinker if they'd have done skins for this bloody game, let me tell you. But they didn't. Everything that they did, they said they were going to do for free. Now, there's two thought processes behind that now for me. Being a little bit more savvy and wiser with games and the industry. A, they have... Thank you, Von. I did just change it. Is it on? Yes, it's on. Either A, they have a fantastic moral code, which is great in that they want to give players more for the initial starting price. I think IDU has increased in price over the years. I think it was $20.99 and then went up to $21 or $22.99, or maybe it's always been $22.99. I can't remember. That's a memory issue thing. I know I picked it up when it was 30% off. Oh. That's nasty. Let's get you dealt with and move away. I forgot about him. And let's wait for him to teleport in. Or move in. Coming. There he is. So, one of the two scenarios. Moral code. Strong. Business sense, not so much. Because, you know, you can't expect to keep on doing things for a game. Even if it's selling and not expect more, you know. In Death Unchained, with its cycle play, the arrows that are in, the bosses, the various bits and pieces, the leaderboards. It was all worth it. It was all very much worth it, and then they've added more, which is just added for us to the value proposition, which is all good. Ooh. Yeah. So here's a theory that I was thinking about the other day, because this is also possibly why they're like canning production or were canning production and are not doing a sequel. Is there's a possibility that they might have been contractually obligated that they were allowed to release the game, but they're not allowed to do any DLC for it, or they're not allowed to do any paid for content for the game. That might be part of their deal. There's stranger deals than that out there for various bits and pieces. Oh, look at that. Don't see that very often. Exploding skull killing things purposefully. Ooh, just what we need, but we're not picking it up. Why? Because I live in eternal hope that I'll get a 2 heal from one of these Blood of the Lambs. Well, we've gone from tonight not losing that armor to having a fucking disaster, but we're almost back. Yeah, let's get the pit done. Let's see what we're dealing with in here. We are safe to enter the pit from here because where we teleport in from is where we will exit, and there were no enemies at where we teleported in from, so... No worries. Good night, Vaughn. See you later. Right. And now we take these one at a time. You... Yeah, no worries. I'll look at that either later on tonight. I'll try and do it later on tonight. I've got a bone to pick with Meta on that front. So we shall see. And I'll be getting me some compensation. That was terrible archery. Right, she is down there. So we will... Hand of God her. We can possibly, if there's one, take this one out first. Oh, is she below us again? Nope, there she is. Now, we do not want her to go down to the bottom. Yeah, nice one, Kem. We do not want her to go down to the bottom. I want her to stay exactly where she is. Because again, we're at that distance where she feels like she's safe enough to try and teleport away, but she won't teleport to somewhere else. And more importantly, she won't run. A lot of that is to do with the fact that although I'm on a different level, I am technically in her path. And even if she did run down the bottom and get below me, there's a chance that when she teleports up, she'd be teleported back up here anyway. So, although that does work on these levels, you only want to use that as a last chance, because you can never be certain whether you are near or on top of the orphan enough to stop their teleport. So don't use that as a tactic. It's not surefire enough to use as a tactic. At the later stages of the Pit of Agony, God, forgot what pit it was then. At the late stage of the Pit of Agony, these 2 knights can be a massive problem. One of the things that you can do, though, is alert both of them. I mean, they're not the problem in itself. It's all the other bits and pieces that can get involved as well. But we can lure them all the way back up here to the safety of this room, and we can use this corner to corner them. And if you can get those hits in as he comes round, you can get him staggered. And then if you can keep that going... And then, if you brought both, you could bring one at a time, but we could manage 2 up here by doing slow time shot, slow time shot. I'm pretending there's another knight there still. And that's where you start. You make the situation easy for yourself to deal with, and then try and find your ebb and flow to it. And then later on, when you get used to doing that, you can then try and juggle one more enemy, and then maybe something will come in and you'll take your time to shoot that as well. And it's all about that juggle, especially at these higher cycles. I imagine anyone who's in like cycle 1 or 2 is going like, fuck me, how many headshots? I know, right? And this is only cycle 5. Only cycle 5. Now, if we are confident hitting our shots, those are not bad shots to take. However, they are quite far away, small targets. That knight will hang up over there. But we've alert... Oh, no, he's gone all the way around. Good lad. Okay, well, we'll take you out now, then. Note how I have changed my angle. I've alerted a couple, and now I have changed the angle. Why have I done that? I think you all know why. I've said it enough. But it's little things like that that can make this level a nightmare. Whizzing shots off into all of that fucking nasty. And all of a sudden, you go from doing well to dead. Now, let's see if we can visually lure this one. Yep, that's got him. Come back into this corner. I am going to have a drink and a smoke. Oh, see, there you go. Every fucking time. It's almost like when I announce it, they know. They can hear. They can hear it on the mic. But again, I am tapping slow time at these points with the express purposes of if... I mean, I was, you know, having a vape as well and having a drink. But if something was to happen, if I am tapping it and I hear that teleport, I can then press and hold it. And that will get you out of many a tough situation. It's almost akin to, as I'm saying, always be using your slow time, shot, slow time, shot, slow time, shot, slow time, when you're just taking on one enemy, because you never know, especially in some levels. You know, you may not have realised that you've alerted something. Something may be able to see you through a little chink of wall where the texture's there, but they haven't coded it so that the enemy can't be alerted through it, and then they get you. That's how they get you. Be aware as well that you can walk through heals. We want to leave that there because we're only one ping away from top health. We will be collecting that, providing... Well, we're going to be collecting that regardless at this rate. We might be able to get both of these without alerting the orphan. Love to get a headshot. Cheers. Cool. Take these boys out. Note these ones do not have stars on their head. Ergo, they are not summoned abominations, and that's why they score points. You can tell that they're scoring points because they have money coming out of them. That's what that plus 88 is. Those ones down the bottom, however, are going to have little stars on their heads, which means that they are summoned. Now, we've done enough that the incubi is unpetrified. Unpetrified? Yeah, that's probably a word. And he is now alerted and will continue to throw fireballs. Look at this. This is cycle 5. The fireballs on cycle 1 are definitely moving faster than that for some reason. But anyway. So now that he's alerted, pick a corner, sit in it, wait for him to teleport. I find up here, looking this way, is the most reliable. The one thing that I will say with incubi is they can take for fucking ever, or they can come in instantly. Do note, I literally just picked up my water. Put that down. Yes, we could get lots and lots and lots of headshots in on this guy across the level, and that's worth a lot of points. But it is dangerous, because there's a lot of nasty shit down there. Especially those higher cycles. This is still a lot of points. Still a lot of headshots. Oh, yeah, I was going to die. Well, yeah, I could have showed you. It's okay. Thank you for the reminder. I will actually do it on the boss. So what I'm going to try and show off... I mean, I can talk about it. What I'm going to try and show off is basically, with an incubi... I did show this off on one of the streams, I think. With an incubi, if you Hand of God it against a wall or against any sort of surface, and then headshot it whilst it's slow motion, and then use slow time as well, what happens is every shot starts sending the incubi lower and lower and lower. Strangely enough as well, they also start to rotate to the left for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they like it short, stumpy, and to the left. I don't know. Maybe they really enjoy a jaunty angle, but regardless, if you Hand of God them and multi-shot them, I don't think you need to use slow time. The Hand of God bobblers enough, but if you use slow time as well, it drops their height. Why is that important? Because you can force the incubi to take a lava bath on the first stage of Asmodeus, which I will try and show off. The hard part is getting him into position to do so. Now, what am I doing here? This should be a relatively easy shot. Is worth a decent amount of points, and he is not going to fight back. I mean, he has got these guys. Let's deal with them. He's not going to fight back. Worst I'll get is I'll alert his minions. There we go. Ooh, another blood alert. Lovely. This, for anybody wondering, is why agony equals... Damn it. Agony equals... Fuck! No, agony doesn't equal fuck. Agony equals awesome. And the reason being is because, first and foremost, like any good pit, when you've got the maximum, you get 3 rewards. But agony has those 2 summoners. Each of them is another guaranteed drop. So, Despair does not have 2 extra summoners in it. And on top of that as well, Despair does not have any Black Knights in it. What do we know that Black Knights have? Shit tons of health. What can we convert all of that health into quite easily? Headshots. What are headshots makers? Points. How much more are they worth down in a pit? 2.5 times. So not only is Agony the one that you want to be going for more resources to further your run and thrive, but also it's the one that you want to be able to score the best out of. The only thing that the Despair has got going for it is that the... What a boy. The only thing that Despair has going for it is that the Orphan is reasonably easy to get. Now, this is one of those nasty situations because he's alerted. I don't want to really be taking those shots because where are they going to whiz off to? So we go. We just go. If needs be, we'll go all the way back to the top. We could go all the way back to the top and we could wait there. But just by putting a little bit of movement in, a couple of teleport arrows, you didn't need the shards. Slow timing as I'm doing it as well. What's it caused? It's caused the classic IDU situation of archers in the back, melee coming at you at the front. It switched it round so that the archers are at the front, melee is at the back. Now that is useful in some battle tactics, but not in this one and not against me. This is the way that I want to face them. This is the way round that I want to play them. Normally as well, if he wasn't there, I would make a point of getting him onto a flat. There's been plenty of times where knights do their jump strike up the stairs, and for some reason, because the physics is a bit garbage on it, they get loads more reach from their Superman diving sword thing, and it hits you in the lower, and they can get really cheeky hits from like almost the bottom of the stairs to the top of them. So as long as you keep them staggered with those headshots, and man, sometimes body shots aren't enough, but as long as you keep them staggered with those headshots, he wasn't going to do it. That was still risks that I didn't need to take, but you know, he was right there. So, right, let's deal with this side first. I'm going to get nice and close to these guys. Damn it. What I was trying to do there is get both headshots off before they teleport. These Abyss monks, when you damage them, is what... Was that his bow? It's not mine. Is there a Cupid that I haven't seen? No, I took them both out. A hit on an Abyss monk, and you can tell they're Abyss monks because they've got this like lavary looking dress on. Lovely, very reflecting. When they take a hit, they teleport. That's the first thing that they do after they take a hit. If you are effective with your slow time, you can get 2 hits in them, possibly even 3, before they can teleport. It just means that we can deal with them before they become a problem. So even if I do a little tap, like, you know, his adventuring days are well and truly over. However, he is going to teleport. They won't teleport outside of your view more often than not. They will, however, like, I find that they teleport right to the fucking edges. So even that in itself can be a problem. Also with this part, there are always 2 Cupids in each bit. Make sure you've taken both out. They love to hide up here, up there, round there, places where you can't see them straight away. Now, also, I know from this level, there are 3 knights left. 1 there, 1 there, there's 1 down the bottom. For that reason, I don't want to be taking those shots, so I'll move to here. I don't mind sending shots down there. Steady on. Look at this. Now, what I could do is play for points here. I should really, because I'm really low on points. Oh, fuck off. There we go. I had to make sure that he was going to stay there. Making use of that little brazier and the lava thing. He'll get caught in there. You can do this on either side, I think, yeah. You can make use of that so that all of a sudden we've made quite a lot of space. And that's just more points. And they're then doubled down here, because pits. Oh, fuck off tracking. Look at that. There we go. Yeah, Quest. See, this is like Weebs does keep on asking me, like, Quest Pros, they've got to be the way, they've got to be the way. They're great at tracking, but I don't know why they just randomly fucking disconnect. They come back on. One of the other things that's actually quite annoying with Quest Pros, I was chatting with one of the devs of Dungeons of Eternity, is that when you take the headset off to go and do something and then put it back on again, they take a few seconds to find themselves again. They're there, but they take a few seconds to, like, they'll be like here, and you can move them around even though your hands are here, and they'll take a few seconds to go from, well, quite a few seconds sometimes, to go from here, and then they go like that and like match up to where your controllers actually are. And if you can imagine, as a dev or even as me, a simple video DJ, in and out of the headset quite often and doing that, that can be really annoying. All those little 10, 20 seconds, they all fucking add up. Anyway, so yeah, don't get Quest Pros unless you get a really good deal, I would say. Not worth 300 quid. I didn't pay for it. Mine, as I keep saying, mine were born out of necessity. I needed something to play with that night because my Quest 3 controllers are already starting to fail. And yeah, I had £150 worth of vouchers from Christmas, so I didn't actually pay £300 for mine. I paid more like £150. And to be fair, I was looking at an excuse to try them. So right, pit done. Score? It's not bad, actually. Starting to make it back up a little bit. I don't want to shoot those yet. Right, let's see if... Oh, it's you guys. Do note, although a skull in Siege of Heaven is worth decent points, skulls in the main mode are not a headshot. Even though they are nothing but a head, they are not classed as a headshot. So you don't get headshot points for them. All you get from them is the executioner bonus potentially, but even that I can't confirm. I just assume because they're enemies. And the gold. And they don't even pay that much gold. There is, if you have the game 100%ed, a bonus for using a skull to kill, using a skull's explosion to kill other enemies. It's not worth it. If it was like in the hundreds, if it was in the thousands, or maybe even in the hundreds of extra gold, maybe. But it's not. It's like an extra 10, 20 gold. Now, I know what I've said previously. Oh yeah, do all those little bits and pieces. They all add up. They all build up. It all helps you score. But I'm talking about things that are easy to do and at least worth your time. Pissing around to get skulls to blow up other enemies is not worth your time. Not in the slightest. In fact, it's more risky to do that than anything else. Ooh, gap shot. Damn it. Damn it. Yes! No. No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, ideally you want to shoot one and it blows the other ones up, because that's just fun. But, like, spending your time manoeuvring a flaming skull into position for you to then bat it into another enemy to try and blow it up is just... First and foremost, it's not worth it, points-wise. Secondly, it can be a pain in the ass. Third, it'll probably cost you life to do it. And fourth, it's not repeatable at later levels unless you spend the time whittling the enemy down to within an inch of their life and then doing it. Alright. That's probably a bit more than I would like to handle, because that guy's going to get right down my throat. That was fortunate. Alright, here we go. After those initial lunges that they sometimes do, they then sort of like settle down into their stance. If you can get the hits off of them doing their lunge, they'll then do this, and then they'll stand stock still, then they'll take a swipe at you. Very easy to get out of the way of. It's those jumping attacks and those lunges, those are the ones that will get you. And look, whilst he's keeping me busy, that guy's been alerted. What a prick. Again, do I want to be trying to shoot at this guy, possibly alerting all those cupids over there? No, not really. I'll go over here, and I'll shoot him that way, because even if I miss... Again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but it is very important. Very, very important. Like, even this. Look at where those arrows are going, and I'm just nonchalantly... Any of that could alert anything back then. It just takes it to be a nasty archer. And all of a sudden, taking out a couple of enemies that aren't scoring you any points becomes fucking deadly. No, thank you. Yeah. Like, I think we should get loads of points for trick-shotting skulls with the shield into things to blow them up. I'd do it if we got loads of points for it. I mean, you know, that's pretty obvious. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, and do not try this... Fuck! I'll show it off later. Is there more? Yeah, there are more. Okay. I'm not doing it against multiple. It's just asking to lose life, and I'd rather not. We've only just got back up to full. So, for those of you... Yeah, nice one. Cheers, Zog. For those of you who aren't aware, you can use the shield to bash skulls. Use it as a last resort. What the bash does is it resets their timer. Now, there are achievements that extend their timer. Do not attempt to bash a flaming skull unless you have that to, like, maximum level, because you just won't have enough time. But... there you go. Even that was too close, because a lot of the time you hit them and they kind of... Like, if you do this, they'll kind of fly away from you. If you do that, they'll go left. If you do that, they'll go right. If you do that, they'll go up, and that, they'll go down. In a panic situation, especially in these tight confines, hitting it into the wall and it blowing up will still damage you the same way as it just blowing up anyway. So it's... kind of a 6 one half dozen the other. Oh yeah, we'll line those two up. Lovely. Okay. That's manageable. This is one of those situations where I could lure all of the things that are in there all the way down to that bottom little stoop, and then get some very long-range headshots. And you can do that, but, again, streaming... I don't think you want to see me here cursing for 20 minutes whilst I just get a load of body shots on something at ridiculously long range. I mean, I don't know what you tuned in for, but I don't think it's that. Right, now. think we killed the archer that's in there. So we will fire some exploratory shots and we'll have a little look around. No, we didn't. I can see his hood. Cool. Start at the top. Work our way down. Lovely. And when I say at the top, I mean right at the top. See what we can take out. See what we can alert. So they've been visually alerted. If I now move over to here, they should follow me up to the steps. They can't path to me, which means they have to stay on the stoop. If I'm close enough, they'll throw axes. If I get far enough away, they'll stop. And if I get far enough away, or the further I get away rather, the more points those headshots will be worth. I hate moving onto the inside of them. The only thing that you do have to be careful of here is them then moving around and falling off. We don't want that. They do respawn with full health, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, that sounds like a great exploit. It's really not. It would take you so long. So very, very long, even at the high cycles, to make it worth your while. Points and time-wise. And it's not even risk-free either. I know how to push enemies off of the level, and to do it reliably is not a thing. There you go, and that's why I don't do that. Right. I mean, I do that, but I do that in my own time. So, the thing is, I don't need to do that because I can get far. But there was a time when I couldn't get past cycle 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, what have yous. And so I would spend my time getting long-range headshots. It's good practice. It allows you to score better. And hey, everybody likes beating their own personal best. And if you're constantly doing long-range headshots and getting a little bit further each time, then you're breaking new boundaries. Because ultimately, the only person that you're playing against is yourself. Plus all the people on the leaderboard. Obviously. I know they fixed the incubi spawn and despawn. But I don't know if they've fixed the... fixed it. But regardless, I'll tell you now, the people that are getting the many millions are not pushing enemies or not letting enemies fall off of the level and then redoing it, because it's not worth their time. For the amount of headshots that you could then continue to get on, there is the argument that then you can kind of like stop at the point as far as you can get and then farm. But, you know, unless you can get ridiculously high cycle, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Is this the first section or the second? Oh, but we've done the pit, so we're not far off the pace here. Who knew? I was talking quite a lot at the beginning of the stream. Scared me, that one. I thought that was a bit too close. Oh, fuck's sake. Be careful of those axes. The ones that they fire up almost vertical. Those can come back down and hit you. I know this because I've had this happen plenty of times. Normally they'll move out to these angles where you're fine. If they do fly, they'll fly over you. But yeah, if they're firing directly up like that, be careful. Right. Almost done, and it's on to Asmo. So these end bits of these levels are packed with enemies, or they've at least got difficult enemies in, and a few of them. They are made with the intention of you going in from the front. So we go in from the front, right? No. No, we go in from the back. There's lots more space to play with out here. There's a lot more space to work with. One of the things that we can do is cut that pie. Hello. Are we going to fight him here? I don't like risking the idea that the arrows go in might alert someone around that corner. What about here? Well, there's nothing behind him. So even if I do miss, come on. Even if I do miss, it doesn't matter. And we can do this over and over and over again until we've cleared enough of the level. Like, that guy's too far enough away, but if I just look at him, don't cut any more pie and move forward, That's one more enemy that we don't have to deal with in there. And this is how you take down huge rooms of enemies at those much, much, much higher cycles where they've got shit tons of health. Lure them out, one at a time, have your way with them. I don't think waving helps, although sometimes I can't help myself. It feels like it, you know, little come hither or wavy wave. Anything more that we can see? No. So we'll cut the pie this way, just in case I can hear one. There's one. Now, the likelihood is, because we're leaning, he's not going to see us. It's too tight an angle. And if I step out here, so probably best off dealing with him first. There we go. Now, his first teleport will nearly always be outside, especially if you are outside. His second teleport will be to get close to you. Once you've got the incubi outside... Oh, no. Fuck that. I'll show you what I was going to show you, actually. Once you have got the incubi outside, you can go up onto the rooftops, you can get some pretty long-range shots, and you can do some pretty good things there. He's still throwing fire. When he winds up his fireball, there's a little bit of rotation, but he will he will try and throw the fireball as to where you were. Now, what I'm trying to do here is trying to get him in position so I can show you what I was banging on about earlier. So, look at his height now. So he is like his groin is at my mouth height. Great, huh? Now, we have Hand of God at him. I'm going to try and trap him up against this wall. Oops, that's another Hand of God we wasted. Good old Hand of God. We're going to need another one. See how much he's dropped there? And I don't know why it is, but they drop a shit ton when they're in a Hand of God bubble. And you'll also, and you've got to keep him in the Hand of God. But even though he escaped it and has kind of like bounced off the floor a little bit, like normally that would, in this situation, normally that would be lava. But even though he's bounced off the floor and come up a little bit because he left the Hand of God bubble, he's still a lot lower than what he started off. And if there wasn't floor here, he would carry on going lower and lower and lower and lower. And so what you can then do is you can force him into the lava at Asmodeus. Now, there might be some of you, like Farmer, for instance, thinking like, why do you need to dump this guy for an insta-kill into the lava? Well, at the cycles that Keith is doing, this guy probably takes in excess of about 100 shots. So, look at that, almost fucking horizontal there, mate. Nicely done. Didn't need to see that. Anyway, I'll try, if they're not taking enough hits at this stage, but I will try and show it off a little bit. I'll definitely be doing it later on in the series, I would imagine. So... But yeah, it's basically when you get to the later stages, you get to the point where you are running the risk of getting consumed by the lava if you don't kill the incubi fast enough, because it's the incubi that triggers the next stage of Asmodeus so that you can get off of the first stage to the second. Once you've killed that incubi, it then triggers the second stage. If you don't kill that incubi, the lava just keeps on getting up and up and up. And at those, as you can probably appreciate, when those things have got more fucking, or almost as much health as, like, I don't know, Cycle 10 Anakim, it can take a lot of time. Now, Winter's Bite do help. Yeah, no worries. One of the things that I would say is there is a spot. Things do change from season to season, but there is a spot where I'll show it off. I'll show off where I was talking about. If I can get there quick, I might even remember. You never know. It's probably about time. Get this wrapped up. We've done the pit. Haven't come across the orphan yet. Don't think. That's a bad proposition. That's a bad room. But we've alerted the knights and the knights only, so that's not too bad. Bad shot. Went flying off into the ether. Yep. Lovely. Right, that's all the hand-to-hand combat troops actually dealt with here. This part I like to take apart by taking this lot down here, going around here, and you can usually deal with them. And stray shots are going into the roof of that next building. So that's not too bad. As long as they're not sailing over and they're hitting something before they get anywhere, you're golden. Right, that's those two. And then the other two... didn't mean to alert that one. The other two are probably easiest to deal with up here. Because, again, stray shots are going to go straight down. You might alert the archers, but if you do alert the archers, there's nowhere within your field of view for them to teleport to. So what they normally do is move out or teleport down here, in which case you come and join them, or you retreat round there. Where are they all? Oh, there he is. He's definitely got a buddy. He's probably under the wing. Again, feathering to make sure that he's lined up for the headshot. Lovely. You who are... Oh, and you. Little horizontal shot there for you. And one of them. Ah, you were supposed to die. Whatever that is. Okay. This is the easier configuration of what I think has lovingly been dubbed as the barracks. This is basically you come in from the wrong way around, which, again, is supposed to be designed to be tackled this way around. Right, these are two nasty shots. That one's not too bad because at least there's backing of wall there. That guy, we just mustn't forget about him. I'm going to wait. Right, that's good. That's him dealt with. I'm going to wait for them to either teleport or move into my line of sight. I don't want to shoot at them anymore because there is... I mean, it's not a room full of nasty, but it's just good practice to always fire at targets when there is something behind them to absorb your losses. It'll stop you getting swarmed. Right, that's them dealt with. You should go through there, but I always go around this outside bit, if I'm honest. Making use of this pillar and these stairs, once they're alerted, they should teleport in here somewhere. Whenever you're ready. All that. You can actually, with the Abyss Monks as well, if you're not hitting those heads, you can make use of their teleport mechanic, knowing that they have to teleport and then stop before they can fire. Oh, you... Come on, that was through the wall. Prick. Taking loads of damage tonight. All from bollocks as well, I might add. Don't even need to come lined up with excuses tonight. All being given to me. Stupid glitches. There we go. Again, we don't need to worry too much at this point. Go on. No! Missed. There's still plenty of health about, but there will come a time where these shenanigans will get me killed. Best part is you'll all be live here to see it, so... Probably. Again, though, as I said, you know, I'm kind of aiming this run for like 10 million. Oh, we'll take that now. Double! That's the first double of the fucking night. About bloody time. Look. Mr. Banshee, there isn't one. What's one? She's over there, look. It's just the Banshee and a bunch of abominations left now. Still got to be careful though, because those abominations can put a burst of speed on, and they can be awfully sneaky. And in your face with the acrobatics. Done. That bit next. Actually, that's not bad, because we can probably... Oh no, we're going to have to deal with all three. There we go. Banshee next, because she's the one that got alerted. Love to get a hit. Fuck off, Plasma. Again, it was one Plasma. I've had far too many bad experiences of Plasma just passing through shields, or it's not even explosive, but it still hits the shield and damages you. It's bullshit. So, again, do what I do, run. Lovely. Again, I can probably, you know, make some big distance up on these guys. I'm not going to though, because we're almost at the end of the level, and I'd like to get to cycle 6 tonight. I know there's a Banshee down there. I kind of want to bring her out, which is why I'm being a bit nonchalant with my shots. That one was a bad miss. Hang on, Ray. What was that? To all 5 arrows gave same head damage. All 5 arrows give same head damage as volley 5 on Orphan. What, when you hit them, when you do that in the head? No, it does more than a headshot. All 5 go in, and it gives you the equivalent of, basically, volley 5 up close. Well, let's go and test, I'll show you. If I understand you right. You can do it on anything as well. 3044, whereas at this range... Oops. We are doing... Well, it should be 450. So that's that. 450 plus 450 is 900. Times that all by 2 to make it 4 arrows. That would be 1800 plus another 450. So that'd be 2250. Whereas one of these is doing 3000. So it's actually doing more damage than 5. Oh, right. Okay. No. Strangely. Wildfire. Ooh, you were close to the exit. Wildfire times 5 does, I think it's something like 2400 damage. So it's not far off 5 actual short range headshots. Then you've got the burning tick damage, but even at 60 it does 8 ticks, which makes it an additional 540. 8 ticks. 16 off of 80. No, 64. So an extra 640 damage. Long story short, it does a little less damage than volley 5, but the burning effect takes time to apply, and the whole point of this is insta-KOing things. And if you're rattling in multiple, then first and foremost, that burning effect isn't having the full effect. For effects in this game to have full effect, like Winter's Bite, you stick them with them once, wait for the effect to finish, and then carry on. Because the effects do not stack. They actually are worse than stacking. They overwrite each other, causing less damage overall in what's it called case, in like Winter's Bite case, it's detrimental to stack multiple on. The only other thing as well is quiver amount. I believe you get 58 when you've got This goes up to something like 77 if you put it in a blessed quiver as well, which is something that I've considered doing, but I don't find myself using them. I need them, but I try not to use them. They're kind of like a dire situation because you're doing a lot of damage, and that damage converts to headshots, and that headshots converts to points. And if you're getting far, you're supposed to be going for points. So KOing stuff with that is like, you know, costing yourself points. There he is. The other thing as well is, if I remember rightly, it's been a while since I picked up Wildfire times 5. Wildfire times 5, I think, has a maximum of, even with all the upgrades, 39 or maybe 45. Whereas this has 58 in a quiver. So, better again. Again, poor form, but I'm not going to be using any Hands of God. So, I'm not coming back. Can't be bothered, and we're almost done. So, I haven't even checked the shop. God, that's really bad form. Wasn't I saying earlier, always check the shop so you know what you're working with? Or did I? I might have got some health from the shop. Memories. Right. When you say the other arrow, what about the other one? Do you mean Divine Sight times 5? Cataclysm times 5 does less damage again, all 5, and then with the explosives kind of makes it worthwhile. The big problem with Cat 5 is it can put the game into slow time when you don't necessarily want it to. That's not a bad thing in normal play, but the big problem with Cat 5 is you only get, what, 26? Or is it 23 in the quiver? So not only are we looking at how much damage that they can do up front, up close and personal per shot, but we're also looking at how many we get within a quiver, because that all equates to how much damage you could do over the course of the quiver. Like, as you can see, if I start using volley 5 on this guy whilst he's acting up, why are you even throwing an axe? I hope that's going to hit the... Lovely. If I use a couple of volley 5s on that guy, it'll kill him. And that thing is, even if all 5 arrows stick into the head, it's still only classed as one headshot. Yes, it is the first thing I tested. Yeah, he's probably going to fall off anyway. It is the first thing I tested when they took away my barrage of needles. If volley 5 did multiple headshots. Let's try and... Why do I keep doing this to myself? So yeah, don't bash the skulls. The reason why I like to do it is because I don't think a lot of people know how to do it, and it would probably be best kept that way, because it's just going to cause more harm than good. As I said, don't try and do it. You do it when it's an emergency, but it's always better and easier to shard away, teleport arrow away, or just fucking destroy them from long range. Don't try and act up with skulls. Unless, of course, like, you know, I have considered making, like, a little montage short. Oh, there we go. And, fuck off. Have considered making a little montage short of, like, loads of skull things. Cheers for waiting. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. Must be getting tired. I'm getting complacent. Very complacent. Well, not tired. Fatigued. I do have a set way to do this, and I just went the completely wrong way. So this is all my own fault. What I would normally do, take those 2 cupids out, and then start doing this side first, and then you go for them afterwards. It saves what happened there happening. But I suppose I can always say that I did that for the points. Just enough to see his head. Excuse me. Thank you. Yeah, as opposed to what we were talking about. That's what I was also formulating as well. We were talking about Divine Sight times 5. Divine Sight times 5 is not too far off of Volley 5 levels of damage. Is a very good arrow. But again, is let down. It has additional versatility as well. Because say, for instance, you've slow timed, you've done everything right, and that guy is still going to get a shot off. And I don't know, maybe you bent over backwards double and you can't dodge out of the way of it or something. You could still quickly fire that Divine Sight times 5 off in the hope that it would hit and stagger the enemy. And it can also do other jobs as well, like clear particularly weak enemies out of the sky quickly for you, like Cupids. Say, for instance, you triggered the Cupids on Asmodeus, and you'd at least have Divine Sight times 5 to deal. When you get to my stage of play, it wouldn't make too much odds. And then we also go back to the argument of it hasn't got as many arrows in the quiver, ergo I can't do as much damage over time with it, and it doesn't have the value of Volley 5. So again, it's another one of the first things I did. That's not to say that Divine Sight times 5 is a bad arrow. In fact, it's a very good arrow. It's one of the arrows that I would use for Off Annihilations in my Fletcher runs. Oh, I thought you weren't coming. Yeah. It's a very good panic arrow. But I'll tell you what, Hand of God is mine. Because it doesn't matter, I don't need to kill anything. I can just slow everything down to a snail's pace. And then that on top of slow time, if I do all the steps, I shouldn't take any damage from anything. So, but hey, there you go, horses for courses. Especially if you haven't got Hand of God unlocked. I'm sure you have, Ray. But then the thing is as well, you'll see a lot more Divine Sight times 3s and times 5s, even though they're, I think, the same rarity as Hand of God. Don't know why. I get the feeling that they might have coded that into the game. That, so they can show off the arrows, the new arrows that were added. Because remember, we didn't always have Divine Sight times 3 and Divine Sight times 5. You whippersnappers, you don't know how easy you've got it. Back in my day, we had to deal with Divine Sight times 1. And it was shit. It's still shit. Not even because of the homing. Not even because of the homing, but because of the fact that for some reason, Divine Sight times 1, they never adjusted the amount of arrows in the quiver. It's still like 19. 19 arrows. Ah, I forgot there was all of this here. Can play Sensi. Try and get a bit done. Can I knock you out? Nope. And cornering. I'm rushing now, I can tell. Right, you first. You next. You got your shot off. Yeah, no, it has got a lot of uses. It is a very good arrow. I mean, for me, it's like we can get more distance out of that. For me, it's one of the best arrows for Fletcher because you can actually get some long-range hits at no risk to your life. Because it's a for those of you Fletcher. You get a different special arrow for each shot. And if you miss, you take damage. Except if it's Divine Sight or Cupid's Wrath. So they're kind of like freebie shots. In some circumstances, for how the enemies can move and behave, and like your arrows going through heads and stuff, Divine Sight times 5 is probably probably the best Orph Annihilation arrow, because even if you fuck up that first shot, it isn't going to damage you. That has value, definitely. And I would take definitely not taking damage in Fletcher over the extra 500 odd damage that a volley 5 would do. Shouldn't be shooting him from up here, but we're almost done. It would be so simple, wouldn't it? They could just put like a little rock here or something that you hit with a teleport arrow and it just puts you down the bottom. I'd be able to get an entire game in cycle-wise in under a minute and a half that way, I think. Right. But then we'd miss out on the shop. Lovely. So we're going in full health. Lovely jubbly. And inevitably going to lose a life pissing around with the incubi. But I'd like to get it on film. I think I've done it on something. I've always talked about it. I don't know if I've actually ever live streamed it. But there is one more thing that I do need to show you, Keith. And you will see it now, hence why I'm going to continue to talk about it, so that I have a chance of remembering to show you. Such wonders await. Oh. Trying to be clever and it didn't work. Right, battery check. One more. And then we're done. Oh shit, is it 12 o'clock? The time flies. I've got to stop doing 4-hour streams. My headset's, well, it's not dying, but not great. Very warm, and I think that was my last, despite me putting my batteries on charge, that might be my last battery I've got, so just enough. Right, so incubi. Right, note how I am not going to piss around on this. Slow time shot, slow time shot, slow time shot. This is a fantastic boss to practice your slow time shot on. If you can get it down, you can really get into a rhythm. I usually like to start on either the top ones on the arms, because those ones can be the struggle ones, or start from the bottom and work my way up. It should look something like that. Slow time shot, slow time shot, slow time shot. Whilst I'm slow timing, I'm assessing the order that they're coming in and dealing with them in that order. So I know that I need to get that one first because the other two haven't even spawned. I know that one's coming second because he spawned after, and then that makes that one last. Slow time shot. Oh, don't put your chin in the way. Fuck. Ah, well, that's not going. This is the part that I definitely use shards. And his second stage as well. Right, incubi. Right, dealt with, done. Good. We can collect that. We can't now because we're at full health. If we do take damage on the way up there, I'll show you, but we can retrieve that even if it's underneath the lava. Well worth knowing. Okay, so what we're going to do here. Where's the other one? Always 2 cupids, 2 abyss monks here. Make sure you take them all out before proceeding, because otherwise they can catch you aware. I like to deal with those 3 cupids from about here, and then I beeline for this corner. Reason being, the abominations can't path to you here because you're kind of off the level, but the archers, monks have no problems. We do have to try and deal with this lot reasonably quickly, and you have to get faster at this the further we go. Now, next thing's next. Let's kill you. trying to be fast because I want to show off what I want to show off, and I might need time to do it. So, this is the important part. He is there. We can't put his back to anything to get him lower. Plus, the lava's down there, and that's where the sloping ground is. I have found in the past that if you put your back to here and look here, when he teleports... Fuck. Well, that's kind of okay. He likes to teleport there, but they may have changed that. If we go to here, though, and put the Hand of God there, and then start working those headshots, and then we put another one in the wall, probably good enough. And then, as you can see, he is low enough now that if we keep him there with continual headshots, eventually the lava will consume him. He hasn't got enough life for me to carry on doing this. Let's see if we can get him killed by the lava without me getting killed by the lava. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. Fuck off! I'm trying to do an example. But anyway, yeah, so that's... If you keep the headshots on him, he won't teleport away, as we know. So you just keep him at the back there and continue to shoot him. But it's this spot here I like to stand. You put your back towards it, trust that his fireballs are not going to go through the wall. They shouldn't. And then look this direction, and then you should be good to go. Okay, that's getting a little high. But yeah, that if you don't kill that incubi, that lava just keeps on getting higher and higher and higher. Yeah, no worries. If he's got more health, I can actually show it in action, but I think, you know, that should help you. The only thing that I would say is please do practice that before you, like, rely on it as a strategy. And, you know, build redundancy into it as well. Shoot him with a Winter's Bite as your opener. You know, it's only one Winter's Bite. It could be the difference between you fucking up and then having to do enough damage to kill him and just managing it. So... But as you said, so this is part and parcel of the resource management that Jarvis was talking about, and what I keep on banging on about, that, like, you know, Tempest to somebody who has just got Tempest and using Tempest is the best arrow in the world. Best thing since sliced bread. So it's Divine Sight ×5 when you first get it. But all, and Curse of God and Wrath of God. But the thing is, all of these arrows are arrows that you don't really need and can't afford to have taking up quiver space, because you need 2 Winter's Bites and you need a Hand of God, and you kind of need Volley 5 as well, unless you're super duper duper fast. So what I was showing Keith there is a way to use the meta arrows, unfortunately, to do something that normally he would take a different arrow to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, Keith, but I assume you would either use Cat 5 or maybe Cupid's ×3 to hit him with explosions from above, and that sends him down into the lava, which is a great tactic, but it means you have to take Cupid ×3. And let's be fair, you're not going to be using, at cycle 13, you're not going to be using Cupid ×3 for anything but that. And that's fine. Yeah, Cupid's Wrath ×3. Yeah. Taking an arrow that has one use, though, if it's your sticking point and you can't get any further because of it, well then, yeah, fair enough. You kind of have to. But again, it's that thing that you do to try and improve. Is you try and make plays and find space and do all that good stuff. Right. Here's something that I've been doing more of now, because it's been a long time since I've actually had to fight Asmo properly. Is instead of putting the Hand of God over there to slow those guys down, I'll put it right into his groin, and it just makes shooting his horns trivial. And I used to take Cat 5, although they are getting close. I used to take Cat 5 for that finish specifically, so I was... What happened to his face? I was taking Cat 5s to get the big finish on Anakim. And then I was finding that I was using the Cat 5s to finish Anakim, and I wanted another use out of them. And one Cat 5 across his brow will destroy both of his horns instantly, ending the boss. At probably one of his most dangerous stages, because a lot can go wrong here if you don't know what you're doing, or something bad happens. And, look at this. Hi. Ah! There you go, nice manly war cry there. So, basically, the sound effect that's played is like background music as opposed to it being played in time with the monster. So you hand of God him and it puts him into slow motion, which means the rock comes up and the level ends before he's even finishing being dramatic. Anyway, we didn't lose any life, that was good. So, we started the stairwells over... Where is the stairwell? There's a bloody stairwell. There it is. I thought it was there. I just wasn't aiming low enough. Down here is where we started. And if you remember, there was a Blood of the Lamb down there. Now, I can't pick it up, but if I had taken 3 hits back to back, that extra blood and those 2 there would have sorted me right out. So it's worth knowing that if you don't take that and then take a hit, it is there for you to collect. There was a time, long ago, and I don't know why, there was like hidden items in the lava, just random quivers, extra arrows, various bits and pieces. And I think it was a bug. It might have been sort of like overspill from the abyss level and then it being transported into here for some reason. Possibly due to the fact that, you know, each of the levels and the bosses uses the same space, but then just builds the level within that confinement. Again, the programmers will probably know more about that than I do. And so it might have just been something left over anyway. They sorted that out. Yeah, they got rid of the fun stuff. Don't you not believe it? So yeah. That's some ground covered, isn't it? That is some ground covered. Normally, one of the things that you can do is I could rooftop hop all the way over to the shop before I start fighting through the level. At later cycles, when things are looking a bit dicey and I haven't got any holy armors, and you know, and one holy armor in there could be very nice, especially if there's no health on the level. Going over there first before you take on the level can be the difference between you having enough life to complete the level or dying too early. Because remember, the longer that you can keep going, the more chance an enemy will drop the things that you need as well. So longevity is always something to think about. But yeah, I think that seems as good a place to end it. Again, for those of you, because I know there's a couple of you following along with your score and like keeping pace with me, I expect you to be higher. I have done cycle hopping and missed pits and orphans and all sorts. So yeah, I would expect to be. I always think of this game as like basically a tipping point. There is a point where, if you're playing well, where your millions match the cycle. And I've usually found for me it's between the sort of like 10 cycle, well no, probably higher, cycle 10 to cycle 12. Probably cycle 12. I usually have about 12 million by about cycle 12. So, and then I consider myself kind of like on pace, because the scoring just ramps up from there. And it's always nice to have as many millions as you have cycles in. I always like that for reasons. So, let's see where we are just quick. Nowhere! 390th. Ah, well. We will always have my mortal score. And on that bombshell, we shall end it there. This has been In Death Unchained on the Quest 3 Native. I have been Silver Tongue Devil. Good night.